Lucifer is not a being which grants wishes. It is unwise to ask Lucifer to provide for anything, particularly if that thing could in any way make you reliant upon him or submissive unto him. We do not ask Lucifer for wealth, love, or even power. Lucifer will deny us these things or provide them only to teach us through suffering not to be attached to these things. Lucifer demands that we do for ourselves that which we beg of others. But there are things for which Lucifer can be petitioned. 250 years ago, the light of Lucifer was upon the land of the Americas. The light of freedom, of independence, of refusal to submit to any king. Enough people rose up to reach for this light, to leave the cave of shadow and ignorance and walk upright as free men and women. Nothing is perfect, and so this vision, this experiment was fraught with many flaws. Slaves of all races and creeds still toiled in the fields. Natives of this land had it stolen from them by colonizers and invaders from Europe. But the ideas, the movements, the principles of liberty under a social contract, via a constitutional republic of checks and balances, freedom, personal freedom, ownership, responsibility, representation, and merit, these are all within the archetype of the Lightbringer, of Lucifer, and his many prior and future incarnations. It is in the spirit of this light which I do call unto you now, Lucifer. I call upon the Lightbringer, the bringer of enlightenment and liberation. I call upon you as one of your chosen. I ask not for wealth, not for fame, not for power over others. I ask for nothing. Rather, I empower you. I petition you as equal. I align with you as self with self, and offer up my humble energy and offering and ritual to command the forces of nature into alignment. It is my will that the light of Lucifer shine brightly again, that mankind turn their eyes upward once again, to draw their gaze from the low places, and again into the light of freedom and inspiration. It is my will that the spirit of independence and revolution be now one, and affirm the sanctity of the human spirit as an avatar of the divine manifest. None shall compel me, none shall enslave me, none shall take me alive. Lucifer, O Lucifer, I exalt your name, and all the other incarnations of the Lightbringer of liberty. I call upon you now to embolden those who have remained silent. I call upon you now to guide me and my words and my deeds and my relations, to be the beacon of light in these times of oppression and corruption. I ask not for anything which I cannot do for myself. I command that which is mine and mine alone to obey. And it is my will that the light of liberation, that Lucifer's light, shine brighter than the sun, and teach us once again to rise up and be free, defiant and unyielding to the oppressors. Rise, Phoenix, rise, Serpent, rise, Liberator, in all your forms and guises, in all your many names, both known and unknown. Let us now be as one, the chosen and the chooser. Let freedom ring. Let the light of defiance and independence blind the oppressors. Let the cleansing fire of revolution burn if it must, and let us be the spark which gives forth the new blaze. Let us immolate the chains which bind us, be they of the body or of the mind. As a million billion points of light, let us cry out in unison as we stand defiantly upon the ramparts of pandemonium itself, ready at last for war, but eager, as always, for peace. We kneel no more. We kneel no more. We kneel no more. Hey guys, hope that was melodramatic enough for everybody. Did that come through good, everybody?
I fucking love the intros.
They're fun, right? That's an original written by yours truly. It's an invocation that will be used in frequent, regular ritual that I'm doing. I will write the invocation down and I will put it on my Patreon page or somewhere. I'll put it somewhere where you guys can find it, but I won't make it cost anything if I put it on Patreon. So hopefully you guys liked it. If you missed it, feel free to rewind a little bit. It wasn't that long, but looks like it was popular. It looks like Nina liked it. Looked like Theurgy liked it. So thank you guys. Let me know, what'd you think? Was it a good invocation? Was it something you'd use? Freaking
Yeah,
excellent,
and
right?
even if you don't want to say how you felt about it, say something in chat so we can say hello.
Yeah, say hello so we can say what's up. What's up, Nina? Eric liked it. Thank you. Yeah, I like doing occasional readings like that. That's fun. It gives me a chance to kind of get in the mood, and the little music that I have going, it all kind of gets me in the mood.
And likewise, I feel like it gets everybody else in the mood too.
Oh,
because
yeah,
I know I love when I'm listening to a podcast and they have a nice intro.
Right?
And I've never actually heard one do a reading before, so that's really cool.
Well,
I know every time I hear that, rise from your grave, that's when the cannibalism started.
That's when it
What was
started.
that? Yeah, I'm fucking ready to go.
Right? No,
the right people will get the reference.
I mean, I know Altered Beast, but I don't know if that was the reference. Yeah. So I could have recorded it. I was gonna record it, but I decided not to.
And Steroid with the super chat says, "Great invocation."
Oh man, already? Thank you, Steroid.
Yeah, fucking thank you, dude.
Thank you so much. So this particular stream, we're gonna be touching. Oh, Johan too.
Says, "Good evening, DH and Flesh Priest." Good evening. Good evening to you too. I thought you said morning for a second.
Good evening. Good evening. Arachno
So,
says, "Hello, you beautiful bastards." Those of you, those was powerful words, man. They're straight
So,
guys.
actually, really quick before you give the intro, I just want to say hello to everybody here. We fucking love having you, and I'm gonna call you all out who have said something in chat by name. AKA Morningstar, Anton Erickson, Arachnos, Bear Pentacle, Blue Warrior, David Morgan, Emerald Thunder. I don't remember seeing you before. If you're new, then hello.
Emerald's
Eric
been
Mystery.
here. Actually, they were on last week, I think it was, or the week before.
I may have just missed them.
Yeah, no, they called in. You were there. Yeah, but you forgot. It's okay.
Oh shit!
Teasing.
Did they change?
That's cool.
No, did they change? They must have changed their name or something.
Maybe they did. Well, they came on as. I know they're in the Discord.
Okay, fuck. Okay.
You're cool, dude. That's okay.
Fuck me then.
No,
Mystery
no,
James Eldridge.
not even with this.
General 7. You always throw me off with that name there. Jessica McKeary, Johannes Josef von
Engelstadt.
Cairn, L the Alchemist, Lucas Vose, the Great and Mighty Nina the Mystic, Roxy Love, Seraphim, Star Ruby Corsi, Steroid Maximus, Tatum, the Angry Finger, and Theurgy Theater.
Fuck yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot for showing up. Eric Coetting is here. What's up? Eric, rewind the tape. You missed my intro. It's probably the best intro I've done in a while. So tonight's episode, we are going to be covering current events a little bit. But the main perspective and the point of tonight's topic is mostly going to be about the importance of perception and making sure that your own ability to perceive and interpret the world is not too heavily poisoned by the propaganda of others, be that people in your everyday life or people in the global scale. And some of you may have noticed the background picture. Yes, I said your name. You didn't say my name from yesterday, Eric. I saw you. I was talking to you. I was chatting away. Not once did you recognize. I love you, brother. I'm teasing you. Hopefully, I'll get you on next week or the week after because we were talking about that. That'll be a lot of fun. I want to do that. Oh, we love you too, Eric. We love him, right? Right, Flash?
Yep. And
we love him.
I come and go. Right now, I love him.
Oh, you come and go. Ew, don't be gross.
And somebody else has some love. Star Ruby Corsi with the super chat says, "I love you guys. We fucking love you too. Thank you."
So a big piece of tonight's conversation, at least my initial ranting and raving, is going to have a lot to do with obvious current events and things that are going on now. Right now, to summarize a little bit, is one of the most historic times of our culture, of our society. For a long time, mankind has been able to wage war with violence, with nation against nation. by going to war with literal physical violence and doing things that are really, 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 really dangerous. Nuclear weapons, various kinds of just obvious war, conventional wars, we would say. However, now that everybody's armed with nuclear weapons, invading a country doesn't work anymore. If you try to invade a country, they'll just nuke you. America being an obvious example, China being another, and many other nations being so armed. So conventional warfare just kind of doesn't happen anymore unless it's on a limited kind of proxy war level. If we want to do battle with another country these days, we attack one of their interests where they don't have nuclear weapons, and we displace it so it doesn't look obvious. Oh, darkness is here. J.B. Perry, my brother. Ugh, you're tuned in for a good one tonight. You're going to be, I'd love to, we got to talk, man. I got to get you in a just a private conversation soon. So I think you and I both know what's going on. So nations don't go to war with conventional methods anymore. Instead, they wage war of the will and of the mind and of information. At least the larger part of it is that. You're not going to easily invade. No, Nina, I don't even think an EMP is even that rational, because I think an EMP is basically a nuclear weapon. The way EMPs generally work, as far as I understand, unless I've improved them, it's actually a secondary effect of a nuclear explosion. So it requires a certain type of nuclear warhead to do it, if they've perfected it, which I'm sure they have. But everything's hardened to EMP right now. The only things that would actually really collapse wouldn't be the military. The military, for the most part, laugh it off. It would be you and me. You'd have some cars from like the 70s and the 60s still working, and some old transistor radios and stuff would still work. But for the most part, our stuff would collapse because nothing's in Faraday protection at all. That's if it was powerful enough, to properly EMP an entire country like ours. You'd be just as better off, just as easily off, just decimating it and flattening it with nuclear weapons. Well, yeah, I could take out the electrical grid, but that's all it is causing chaos. It's not actually going to defeat. And it would just result in a retaliation of nuclear warheads, because as soon as you know who did it, and you'd know who did it, it would be the same kind of warheads that everything else comes in. Sure, maybe they'd do some stealthy stuff, but we'd have an idea, and there would be nuclear weapons that would be exchanged pretty quickly after that, because that would be on that level of an attack. So, no, conventional war, or even unconventional war with weapons of mass destruction, is over. We now live in an age of intellectual, spiritual, economic, social war. And really, the plan has been so long-term that there is no easy point to say this is when it started and this is where it's going to end, this is where it goes. A lot of you already know about the Great Reset, the Great Awakening, the clash of these two different ideas in our current civilization and culture. You know that America in particular has been brought to a point of division and destruction, that everyone was joking earlier this year, oh, it looks like civil war, haha. You ain't seen nothing yet. And I keep telling you it's only going to get worse. Now, we're still only going to get worse. However, very soon it's only going to get worse it's going to start favoring one side or another. And it is going to get much, much worse. Most likely. I could be wrong. Very possible. But I'm telling you, it's going to get much worse. Now, one of the keys to understanding why it's going to get worse and just how big this is the fact that the propaganda is no longer hidden from sight. It is now blatant and in your face. It is so obvious now that all you really have to do is look at the difference between what's on the television and what's on the internet, what's being spoken and what's being allowed. Now, for those of you who tuned in and were watching because you saw the picture that I had as the screenshot of this video. That was a very important selection that I made. I chose that very specifically for a reason. Let's grab something here. I want to make sure that I'm saying it right. I don't know where I stuck it.
I think it was something to do with the fact that
There it
if
is.
the... Oh, you got it.
Yeah. Yeah. If the situation was hopeless, then the bottom part is obscured from my brain. I think it was, yeah, if the situation was hopeless, their propaganda would be unnecessary. So let's say that again. If the situation was hopeless, the propaganda would be unnecessary. Instead of worrying necessarily about EMPs or NBCs, nuclear, biological, and chemical, instead of worrying about those big, blatant threats, those are the fear tactics, guys. I have this tattooed on my arm for a reason. It's not because it's apparently part of a song or a Fear Factory, like their thing. Fear is the mind killer. It's not just because I like Dune. It's because fear is one of, if not it is really the number one coercive tool. It is the number one propaganda tool. They make you afraid. Existential threat, existential fear is how they make you all a slave. It's always how it's been. And this requires that they create a certain perception. Perception is that they don't need you, that they could take you out at any time, that they could destroy you, that really you don't matter. But that has never been the case. They need your acceptance. They need your commitment. They need you to accept and to tolerate. They need you to fall for it and to submit willingly. Otherwise, it won't work. Nina says, nothing to fear but fear itself. And I'm not going to lie, throughout this whole thing, I've been bugged the fuck out the last couple of weeks, months. Obviously, the election weighs a lot of my mind. Those of you who are in the Discord channel know that that's where I'm active. I don't even give a fuck about the magical conversations because to me, that's not a priority right now. I want to know, like I've always been a good scout. I want to know. I want to know what the fuck is going on. And recently I finally decided, well, the spirits kind of told me it's nothing you can personally change, although I won't lie and say I haven't done certain workings to ensure certain outcomes, but I don't have any expectations. As always with magic, you should leave it on the altar. You do your spell, you walk away, and you forget about it. And it's been hard to forget. Been a little attached. One of my lessons to you has always been, if you're attached to the outcome, you tend to ruin it. You should really be very capable of just letting go of that outcome. You should be capable of saying, I don't care if I get what I want, or I don't necessarily think that the spell is going to work, but I'm going to do the spell for the spell's sake. And when I do the spell, I'm going to put every bit of belief and power and perception into it. So perception really is very, very important. Very, very important. What they make you believe is what they can make you do. What I can make you believe is what I can make you do. Never doubt or forget that I'm very open about telling you that a certain amount of bullshit goes in everything I do. And when I say bullshit, I don't mean malevolent bullshit where I'm trying to trick you and steal from you. I mean bullshit in the sense that it's like a glamour. I dress a certain way, I talk a certain way. Not that these things aren't part of who I am, but they're all just part of a mask, an elaborate stage play. Everybody here does the same thing. We do this as a way to influence our subjective world, which then bleeds into the subjective realities of everybody who's receptive to it. And this creates change. This creates a belief. As that belief shifts, that creates an influence in people's lives. It's sort of like a very low-level version of NLP. Sort of like framing, but it goes even further than framing. You create a perception that can influence people on a level that is so subconscious it becomes part of the shadow. They teach you that this group is intolerant, or this group is foolish and childish, or that these people mean you harm, or that these people mean to save you, or whatever. And they convince you, especially by making it existential for yourself. They always try to reach out and get you where you live. If they can, they will try to get you to unite. They'll try to have you find common ground and then become unified in a collective sense. They'll make you feel like you're part of a collective, a tribe, and a system. There goes my train again. That's like the fourth one in 5 minutes. That's actually very unusual. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Oh, we can hear it.
It's like, whomp. So they're trying to get you guys worked up. They want you afraid. Everybody wants you afraid, even the good guys. Whoever you think that is, they want you afraid. They want you motivated. Now, as someone who, a big part of my style of magic is very psychological, one of the best ways to brainwash someone, to perform a kind of inception, like the movie Inception, is not to use a valid argument at all. In fact, rational, valid arguments only work on the Mr. Spocks of the group, and they're very rare. Most people don't respond to logic or reason. They respond to things like sophistry, to witticism, to sound bites. But they also really respond to fear. If you ever want to brainwash somebody, you terrify them, you traumatize them, and in the middle of their trauma, you insert an idea, very subtly, very, very subtly. And that idea becomes their salvation or the thing that they're afraid of. But whatever you do, you insert it at the height of the fear. You drop that in. And when you do that, that idea becomes cemented in there in a way that is almost impossible to see. Unless you're like slightly autistic like I am, where I see shit and I go, you're fucking trying to brainwash me. I know what you're doing. This whole year has been one nonstop trauma fest for pretty much everybody in the Western world. If you live basically outside of China, where they're always being terrified about something, depending upon where you live, you are constantly being hit with things to be terrified of this year. You're being told to worry about a microparticle, to the point of being literally willing to sacrifice your entire civilization. You've been brainwashed into trusting authorities. If you have any value in Lucifer at all, you don't trust any authority, even the ones you like. They're all suspect because they want power over you. I don't want power over you at all. I could have it. I've had that kind of power in the past over people. I've used it. It's part of Shadownomicon. I talk about the cult that I led. It wasn't hard. In fact, the hardest part was maintaining the will to keep doing it. It was actually easy. Well, right now, we are approaching not the climax, perhaps. I'm not quite certain. But it's going to get a lot worse. And I'm not telling you that to scare you. I'm telling you that to set you at ease a little bit. Believe it or not. It's kind of like when the doctor says, this is going to hurt a little bit. He's not telling you that because he's trying to scare you. He's doing that so that maybe when it happens, it'll be less than you anticipated, so it won't hurt as bad. Kind of like, I don't know, you ever like burned your food on the stove and you're like, oh shit, this is going to suck. Then like you go to sit down and eat it, even though it's a little bit burned, and you're like, hey, actually, you know what? That burned wasn't that bad. In fact, it tastes kind of good. Sort of like that. Now this message I'm giving you, for the most part, transcends party lines and beliefs and your different kinds of perspectives. I'm trying to be as neutral as I can, although it's very obvious what side I personally stand on. But that side is actually one of convenience, not necessarily one of preference, not necessarily one of devotion. I recognize that many of the things that are happening right now, that are coming out of the side that I prefer, there's a lot of brainwashing going on right now. If you're paying attention to the side that I'm on, you will see that as of this week, the narrative has shifted more and more away from how do we somehow fix a... Well, I can't even say it because YouTube just changed their policies. How do we reverse things, fix them? To, oh, look, China. China. Now, that's not trying to say China's not a problem, or that they are not the problem, or that they're not doing it, or any of that. I'm just telling you that they've inserted it subtly into the narrative. And that's going to be the next phase because they've already won this stage of the battle. I'm 80% sure that as of right now, it's pretty much not guaranteed, but it is certainly likely that this is going to get overturned and all hell is about to break loose. I suggest that you guys watch a channel called Monkeywerks, Monkeywerks. The guy watches troop movements all over the place, and he studies this stuff very closely. And he's not a slouch. He knows what he's talking about. All hell may be breaking loose very, very soon. If you respect anything I say, understand I'm not trying to scare you or tell you that it's certain, but I am trying to tell you that now is a good time to make sure you have some extra toilet paper. Be prepared to stay at home. Don't bug out. You're going to want to bug in. You're going to want to have anything that will protect you, whatever that is for you. And you want to be able to lay low for at least a few days to a couple of weeks. Not because of some microparticle, but because it may get a little crazy, especially if you're out in cities and heavily dense, populated areas. Everybody else, if you're living in the middle of a farm somewhere, you're probably fine. Don't worry about it. If you're on the West Coast, you probably got to worry more than I do. The West Coast is the one that's vulnerable. There's people being trained where Nina lives under the auspices of cold weather training. They're admitting that they're there, and they've been training people for action here. They've already been taking place here. This sounds like crazy talk. It also sounded like crazy talk when I did my Marbus video, and pretty much everything I said came to pass. Do I know what's going to happen exactly? No, I don't. But I do know the direction. I do know the general current, and that current could change anytime. That's the nature of karma, by the way. Karma is action. Karma is what is. It is not at all a thing that is set in stone. It is not something that is being done to punish you. It is not anything like that. Karma is action. And that action can be interrupted. When you change behavior, when you change thought, when you change intention in particular, karma changes. So anything could change. There is no set in stone timeline. However, from what I'm understanding, there are anchors in the timeline. They're like nodes. They're like points of divergence. They're what I call paradigm gates. The ones we try to use in magic are sudden and quick. They're things like a clap of thunder that coincides with a ritual, and that gives you a moment of, holy shit, my magic's real. And then that's a portal that your consciousness goes through to a universe where the manifestation you're seeking truly happens. But there are also paradigm gates on a larger scale, and we're going through one right now. And it's a big one. Now, of course, one of the things about prediction is to be as vague as you can so things are hard to dispute. Unfortunately, I can't get more specific than that because I don't know exactly. Well, I do. I have suspicions. Tune into the politics channel. You'll see some of them. I'm not going to cover them here because I don't want it to be all about that. But I just want to warn you of the general gist of the direction. There's a guy in the chat who, I won't say much. He values some privacy and secrecy, but he's chatting away, and he would probably agree with me on a lot of what I'm saying, if not everything. And he is in a position to know. And if I'm wrong, hopefully he'll tell me. But there's going to be a huge paradigm shift very, very soon. And it's not going to be, it's very unlikely that it's going to be slow and deliberate like it was going to be. It's going to be very quick. Very quick. So you guys need to become aware of your shadow. And I don't mean just the shadows, the cutesy ones I wrote about in Shadownomicon. Those are great. They're great egregores. They're great to summon and work with to extract a part of yourself, to understand a deeper part of reality. They're really great for that. But there's an infinite number of them, of different types. There's things going on right now in front of you that are creating a shadow the size that you can't even imagine. Legion is ultimately the spirit that is really in the center of everything that's going on currently. Legion has been released into this world. Everybody sees their shadow, and you can see it on the global scale. You see it acting right now. The Great Awakening is part of shadow work. So pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to your personal proclivities and ask yourself why they're happening the way they're happening. Why are you afraid? What are you afraid of? And what are you going to do about it? And why aren't you doing it? No matter which side of all of these current events you believe you're on, if you truly believe in those things, why are you silent? Why aren't you acting? And I'm not implying that you should be acting or that you should be speaking. I'm just asking why. Are you asking yourself why? Is it fear? Is fear motivating you? Does a God fear? Well, if we were perfectly realized gods, maybe we wouldn't fear. We are only human in this incarnation, are we not? So of course we can experience fear. And sometimes that fear is in the moment, and sometimes that fear is spiritually deep and existential and long-lasting, and pretty much the kind of fear that is from a primordial, instinctive place. And when that fear is invoked, when that fear is activated, that is when you are open to virtually anything. You can see this in movies all the time, like survival movies, like movies where like an asteroid's coming or something, or you crash your plane at the top of a mountain and you suddenly start thinking of doing things that you would never think of doing before, like eating your best friend's leg. These kinds of ideas will suddenly become rational. It's kind of like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a great plan until they get punched in the mouth. Actually, I think he said it more like, everybody's got a great plan until they get punched in the mouth. I think that's how I would have said it, right, Flesh?
Yep, that sounds a lot more accurate.
Eric says exactly. Take care not to react, but to assess and respond. There is something to be said, of course, for instinct. But don't let your instincts control you. In Dune, the whole meaning of the litany of fear, litany against fear, and the Gom Jabbar, where they test people with a poison needle at their neck and a box of pain, is to see, are you ruled by your instinct, or are you capable of overriding your body? Who is in control? Are you susceptible to the influence of fear, coercion, doubt? We all are. But when you are you capable of recognizing it? Fear is the mind killer. That's right. But you know what? Ironically, that's not a bad thing. When the mind is silent, we see what we truly are. And that is sort of the meaning of the final part of that litany of fear. So I can quote it more accurately, because I don't memorize stuff. Let's recite that together, shall we? Flesh Priest's like, shit, I'm here for like a fucking church session. I thought we were going to talk about ghosts and spooky shit. Let us read from the book of Dune, chapter 1.
You talked to me with that? I thought that was to the audience.
No, I did say flesh, but yeah. Flesh I thought we were going to be like just having a cool conversation, but I feel like we're like in the middle of a church session.
I didn't even hear the flesh part. Where is this thing I'm supposed to read?
Oh no, I'm going to read it, unless you want to.
Oh, okay.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing, only I will remain. Now, there's a lot of ways you can interpret each little line of this. We say, I must not fear. It sounds like a command. But if you understand the depth of what is really being said here, the I is not the mind. The I is not the mind. The I never fears. Only the ego fears. Only the mind fears. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. When we fear, our mind goes away. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. It destroys that complex of ego, because the ego can't stand the existential threat of itself, and so it will, like those little things underwater that when a threat comes along, they just zoop right into a hole. Same kind of thing. Ego goes away. If you've ever been in a fight, you know what I mean. Your ego goes. Time slows down. It stops. And all you are is just fists and teeth and anger and pain and all of that shit. The idea of you goes completely away. You might even get a third-person perspective. I've done. It's the weirdest feeling. I will face my fear. That means you're not going to avoid your fear. So it says, I must not fear, like you must avoid fear. That's not what they're saying. I will face my fear. Fear is inevitable. Fear destroys the mind. It kills the mind. The mind goes away. I will permit the fear to pass over me and through me because it is part of me. Fear is necessary. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. What does that mean? And where the fear has gone, there will be nothing, only I will remain, because the ego is not real. And only I will remain. When I see where the fear goes, when it's only the ego that fears, and the ego ceases to exist in the height of fear, only I remain. That is the true power. But only for the evolved, only for those who have transcended the normal idea of fear. This is one of the reasons why Muad'Dib, Paul Atreides, was so special. He was trained to be able to do this. He was trained as a Mentat and as a Bene Gesserit. There's some of my nerdiness coming out. Hope you guys like Dune.
I still need to read it.
Oh, it's fucking phenomenal. One of the best. One of the best. Eddie's quoting it. I think Eddie's a lover of Dune. Fuck yeah, Eddie. Fucking great. Dune, you don't need a Bible. Read Dune. Fucking Dune is better than the Bible, dude. That tells you so much more about the world. It even talks about what I'm talking about. You have the Missionaria Protectiva in the Orange Catholic Bible, which, you know, the Bene Gesserits insert folklore and ideas of messiahs into the different versions of the Bible, basically, and into the different cultures, so that when they move into a culture, they can set themselves up in an emergency or whatever situation as some kind of holy figure and basically take over their culture. It's magnificent shit. So subtle. People read it and they don't even know what the fuck they're reading. You're reading a manual that's like 1984, but it's instead of 1984 for dummies, like how do we fucking put people into stupid little cages with cameras, it is a manual for kings. Dune is like, I would love to meet that guy. I would love to just talk to him. Like, he's up there, like with Alan Watts. I'd like to just hang out with him in a dark room and just talk, have some cigars.
He passed away though, didn't he?
Yeah, Frank Herbert. Yeah, he passed away. His son took over and he ruined it a little bit.
But that is what I have heard from my roommate who adores Dune.
Now, I only started getting into the second book. The first book was really my Bible. I didn't really care as much, but the second one's actually really good too. If you really know what's going on in that book, it's so metaphysical and perfectly accurate. Powerful shit. Yeah, bless the coming and going of him. May his passing cleanse the roads. May he keep the highways for the people. Shai Halud. Oh, fuck yeah. Good shit. Good shit. So, you cannot come to any of this from a perspective of fear. That is not to say that fear must be avoided at all costs, that somehow you can control it. The point is that fear needs to pass through you and not be what motivates you. Fear has to cascade through you, be felt by you. Because avoiding the fear is just another shadow. It's just another fear. You need to embrace the fear. You need to accept. If someone's attacking you, like as a martial arts teacher for a while, I haven't done it in a little while now, but when I used to teach, one of the things, like everything, I apply a lot of psychology and spirituality to it. And one of the things that I would focus on, more than techniques, like people would pay money to my teacher to learn techniques, and he'd have me help teach classes. And when it came to be my time to teach a little bit, yeah, I teach you the moves, but I was really focused on trying to, do you have what it takes to flip the switch on? And that switch is a switch where you act without hesitation. You do assess and respond. It's not just pure reaction, but it is done in a place outside of fear. Fear is happening. I can tell you from every fight I've been in, I was terrified the whole time, but I wasn't terrified. My body was terrified. It was like shaking, the fucking adrenaline's running through me. But once I reach that point where like I get hit in the mouth or something, clarity, time slows down, I suddenly go, do this, do that, do this, do that. In one or two cases it didn't, like, and I lost the fight, and that's like how you lose, right? You need that mental clarity and focus, and you need to be able to act without hesitation. Don't worry about if it's the right move or wrong move. Don't worry about if it's legal or not. If you feel threatened, you act. Not react, you act. Make them react to you. Interrupt their OODA loop. Make them respond to you with a distorted mind. Insert your action in between their thoughts. Because they're dumb. Well, again, what's happening right now is the equivalent of all of our OODA loop being disrupted by the chaos and trauma of what's going on. Many of you have only started waking up recently. I know this because of some of the ways you guys talk, what you guys talk about. I can tell when you guys you've known what's going on for a long time versus you're just getting it now. And even that revelation is part of the act. They're terrifying you with the truth, because the fact that they were able to hide it all this time should be terrifying to anybody who's rational and hasn't noticed it. That's like learning that your parent that you love with all your heart, or your spouse that's like your most favorite person in the world, is a serial axe murderer and they've been plotting your death for years. That would be the scariest thing that you could imagine. Well, it's kind of what's going on right now. You're learning that it's not just corruption, it's organized, it's intentional, and it's by design. And the fun part about it is, for me, also the most frustrating part, is everybody thinks that their side is the one that's not wrong. Now, in war, there is no right side. Let me tell you this from a perspective of someone who understands. You can say that one is more pragmatic. There's a reason I'm taking a side. But I don't argue that my side is morally correct. That would be foolish. In fact, if the side that I'm on tried to be moralistic and avoided doing things that were what we would consider evil, then they're going to be weak and they're going to lose. Both sides cheated in November. Both sides. Everybody cheated. It's just who's getting caught and for how much. The cheating that you're going to see, my prediction will probably, most likely, if it's going to be visible, it's going to unravel around the 18th. You're going to get some revelations from certain orange people, if they don't do it before, but certainly by then or after. Revelations about interferences in our everything. And we will escalate into a war footing. Now, it won't be a conventional war. It's probably going to be a very local one. Probably. There's a chance that won't happen. I've been wrong before. And Eddie, brother, I know where you are on that side. I think you're dead ass wrong on the side you're on, but I know you see what I'm talking about more and more every day, because you're not stupid. You certainly see that this is improprietous, what's going on. This is like, wait a fucking minute. Wait a goddamn minute. Nobody's good. I'm taking a side because it's pragmatic and ethical to me, the side that I'm on, but it is not, oh, look, I'm part of a tribe now. No, I'll turn on that tribe real fast if it goes too far. Trust me on that. Violence is Life says they're on Treebeard's side. Fuck yeah. Treebeard's always right. Treebeard's always fucking right. Yeah. Oh, aka Morningstar, you know it, baby. You know, with the planets and the stars and the constellations right now. This was the keyhole. This was the paradigm gate. Now, Eddie's saying what I'm saying. There's no good guys here, but I also want to make sure you understand there's never any really good guys. There's no such thing as good and evil. So let's put that down for a minute. Let's stop putting our leaders on pedestals. Let's stop putting things on pedestals and saying we've got to follow the good one. Oh, holy God, Emperor Trump. Oh, now I will role play that as a joke with my people, but that's just a role play. Everybody takes a shit and it always stinks. Everybody's an animal. Everybody sins. Everybody does these things that we don't like. And when I say sins, I mean in the perspective of the moralist. Everybody does these things. Nobody's perfect. Everybody's fucked up. Don't put anybody, least of all me, on a fucking pedestal. I have a saying which you've heard before. If you put me on a pedestal, I'll kick it down and land on top of you. In all honesty, we have to be pragmatic and recognize what benefits the most for us. I, being the type of ethics that I use, I recognize that I benefit when everybody benefits. I'm one of those, rising water lifts all boats type of people. When the better everyone does, I'm not trying to change what boat you're in. If you're in a freaking luxury yacht and I'm in a dinghy, I don't care as long as that water's rising. We're all doing good, right? Want prosperity to be everywhere. The more prosperity there is, the better. I don't sit there and go, oh, look at that person who has the mansion. I want that. How dare they have that? I'm not. How stupid are you if that's the way you are? That's just stupid. I mean, it's one thing to strive for it. I don't mean to go, hey, I want one like that. But when you're jealous of it and want theirs, doesn't matter whether they got it fair and square or not. That's them. The world's big. There's a lot more mounds of dirt you can have. Don't worry about what they got. You'll be a lot happier. Darkness says, fuck Vader, full on Pinhead. I know you've always liked Pinhead more. President JB Perry. I'd vote for you, JB. I'd vote for you. At the very least, I would want to be on your cabinet or something, though. You gotta pull me into that. I'll be your magister of soda or something. Like, give me like some kind of like. Give me like the most pointless sounding. Here, give me the most ridiculous and useless sounding cabinet position. But secretly, I'm like your left or right hand man. Like, I'll be the dude that's like, oh yeah, I'm the guy who just makes sure the caps are on the soda bottles really tight. That's my job. And then like in the back, I'll be like, all right, guys, now I want you to. Yeah, no, that's what I want. I want that job. I don't want anybody to know I'm important. Seraphim says, but secretly, we're ready. Yeah. I think a lot of people are getting ready right now. And if you're not, you're stupid. That doesn't mean that it's guaranteed that you're going to need to be ready. But, yeah. Hey, Darkness, how right have I been? Close anyway, I'm sure. Vote Cthulhu. Why choose the lesser of two evils? I always vote for Giant Meteor. Giant Meteor, no hope, all change. Nothing but change. Minister of toilet paper, that's perfect. Because what am I always saying? Get your toilet paper, guys. Make me the minister of toilet paper. Fuck yeah. I'll be that guy.
You defended it with a shotgun once.
I did. I got to get a screenshot of that from somewhere. I forget where I put it. It's one of my favorite screenshots of me sitting there with a big old freaking stack of toilet paper. You know, this thing almost burned me down today because apparently the wood's getting cooked whenever I do that. I got to put some tinfoil under it or something. Yeah, JB says I'm 90%. That's pretty damn good. I'll take it. For a person who has no connection, no contact, no knowledge whatsoever, just divinatory ability, I'll take it. I'll fucking take it. JB Perry, steak and lobster quality control advisor. Fuck yeah, but dude, I'm losing all this weight. Imagine how fat I'll be in that position. Holy shit. I guess I could probably afford the liposuction. Eric nailed it. Preparedness is not to have the stuff, because the stuff can be taken from you, but to maintain a state of being prepared in the mind, in the skills, in the heart, and the spirit. Bam. Eric, that is the most important thing to prep. Most important thing to prep. Eddie says, I'm volunteering Yepsen for Secretary of Sub Affairs. Are you sure? Would you be Sub or Dom Affairs? Which would it be?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean there.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I know.
Johannes says, funny how the puppets who incite us to envy the other guy's mansion are having their strings pulled by those in the biggest mansions of all.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. So true. It's just like I often say, like, if you are the type of person who rushes to curse or attack people you don't like because they insult you or do something to you, if your response is always, I have to have revenge or something, then you're actually being controlled. You're like a puppet on the end of strings. I've done that to people. I've done things in a way that was like, they're going to attack me for this.
What was that comment last week about you're letting them stay rent-free in your mind?
Yep. That's one way to put it. Yep. And I'm not saying I'm totally impervious to that. I fall for that too, once in a while. Like, fuck! And I just want to destroy this person and this thing. But when I'm calm, cool, and collected, watch the fuck out. Because that means I've got you already. I'm not just bragging. I'm trying to show you that that's your mentality. If you're reacting to people and saying they're attacking me, they're threatening me, I have to do this and that, then it's not good. You just as in a fist fight where you need to assess and respond, you need to assess and respond to personal things, to interpersonal things. Don't be reactionary. Act. Completely different. Remove the re out of the act and just go straight to act. You act and you assert and make them react. Always. Always, 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 always. If you're really in a confrontation where it matters, it's not even like they'll say, oh, you got to put them on the defensive. No, I don't even mean that. You can be defensive and actually be proactive, actually be in control. I mean, you need to be the one who's acting and they need to be the one who's reacting to you. Everything they do has to be a result of something you've done. And you're going to do a lot better. And when I'm at my weakest, I'm failing that test. Whenever I fail, it's because I failed that test. And I fail that test frequently. But it is the wisest bit of advice. Make them react to you. Yeah. Jen asked before, who would be the minister of butt stuff? You're muted.
Damn it, thank you. We would absolutely resurrect Crowley for that.
Oh shit! Now, because
bottom of the millennium.
Oh man, because I don't know. Would he just come over and just try to take me and Eric's spot? He'd be like, "Oh, young whippersnappers, you guys." I don't know how he would talk. I never heard how he was supposed to talk. Probably all British, right?
I like to imagine he speaks like Mike Tyson.
Well, don't forget, Uncle Fester was kind of based on like his visage near the end of his life, right? Like,
I'm not up to Addams Family lore. I don't know anything about that. The only thing I know is that everybody used to call me Cousin It.
And Darkness says, I'm paraphrasing the Book of Five Rings. I never read it. I got to read it once again. I never read it. Very big fan of Miyamoto Musashi, the little bit that I have understood, but I've never read the Book of Five Rings, no. I'm familiar with some of the stories, though. Maybe that's why. I'm familiar with some of the stories, like the ones where he'd show up for a duel, and he'd always come at the person from the direction of the rising sun, and he'd use a big oar, and all these ways that he would trick people. These great ways that he would trick people and make them react to him. Absolutely. Crowley would be jealous of the drugs I can get. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Well, all he has to do now is move to Oregon, I guess, and he could probably get everything better than you can get. I don't know. He'd just have to pay tax on it, that's all.
Emerald Thunder didn't even have. Oh shit, I see it now. It's a dancing pear emoji with the super sticker.
Yeah, mine's delayed actually. You're getting them before I am. Thank you for catching those. Thank you, Emerald. Fucking dancing pear. It's a blue pear too. That's kind of subtle, right?
I'm gonna look this up because I want to see if there's any fucking recordings of Crowley's voice.
Dude, I would love if you can find it. Let me know. I'll actually play it if it's not something that's gonna get me in trouble.
We'll see.
Well, Eric, when I come to visit you at some point, I hopefully I can the sleeper can be awoken, so to speak. I'd like to dabble in the dibble. Everybody who's loving this chat, give me a like. I got 76 concurrent viewers, which is nice. I like seeing that. Give me some likes, guys. Show me or give me dislikes, whatever you do. Another thing that I found out you guys should be doing, if you liking this stuff, come back later when the video's done and just leave me a comment. Comments are really good. I'm doing some research because I'm noticing that my channel has been getting a little bit less attention, probably because of all the bullshit going on. People just aren't as interested. Everyone's probably either tuning completely out or they're just focused on what's going on right now. So I might also be getting shadow banned. I don't think so, but I might be, because they might be cutting how much exposure I'm getting, and so therefore it's kind of getting weird. Or it could just be that because I've talked about politics once or twice, half my audience killed themselves. I mean, I don't know. Probably shouldn't have said it like that, but.
So, a weird segue here. I did apparently find a recording, and I'm going to say I was half right. He sounds He sounds halfway between fucking Mike Tyson and who's
give
that
me a
prime
link.
minister? We will never surrender.
Yeah, unless you can do it. Give me a link.
Yeah,
Unless
hold on, give me 1 second. I can hook this up. Me. God, I hope this is the right screen. Hold on 1 second.
If not, then your parents will be wondering what the fuck.
I'm just gonna...
The chat just died. There we go.
Okay, I'm trying to... Okay, I think I know how to set this up.
Or you can just send me the link, because I can just play it, and I've already got it fed through mine.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do that then, yeah. Instead of hiding all the illicit materials that are on my desktop.
Oh, I'm sure the whole time you're sitting there talking to me, you're just hearing, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm sure all that's going on.
Oh, no, there's much more horse sounds. Yeah, something like that. That's the one with Scooby-Doo in it.
Yeah. Where'd you send it, by the way, so I know where to look for it?
DM and Discord.
You motherfucker, because I have that closed.
Churchill, thank you, Arachnos. Yeah, to me, he sounds...
Now, do I have to fast forward? Sorry, do I have to fast forward anything?
Oh, no, he starts right from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Arachnos. He sounds somewhere between Churchill and Tyson to me.
Oh, this is going to be great, then. All right.
Not what I expected.
And my fingers are fixed firmly to my hand. It is my hand that terminates my arm, and that sticks to my shoulder like a charm.
Wow.
My shoulder is a portion of my trunk.
I don't know if they could hear that. I couldn't, but I'm checking the stream.
Yeah, they can probably hear it. You hear the same volume I do.
Even in England, men of evil mind.
Okay, yeah, it did come through on the stream. Good.
So let's put the link to that in the chat so that so we can give that person some respect. Hopefully we don't get freaking copyrighted on that.
Nah, that's got to be a...
yeah,
that's got to be a public domain. The video itself, maybe not, which is why I didn't want to show it. But the recording should be fine.
Let me do something here real quick. I just got... You guys may have noticed on the description of the video. Actually, it did an update here. Cute. Really cute. Let me go find it.
Arachno says their image of Crowley is ruined by that voice.
Isn't it?
A little bit.
I didn't really expect it to be any better than that, to be brutally honest.
I mean, that's kind of like the fucking... the dude who wrote Dante's Inferno. Everybody thinks that he spoke with this big, thunderous voice, just, and you shall burn in the 5th pit of hell, just scaring the fuck out of everybody. Apparently, he was really soft-spoken and awkward, but just the images for that time were so terrifying that it made people faint. I feel like a lot of times the people you expect to be big talkers just not really. Once
so
again,
I just
Mike
put
Tyson.
yeah, really, exactly. Well, you know, his balls are probably like the size of raisins at this point. Don't tell him I said that though. I like my jaw. As my dentist said to me, I'd hate to run into the guy who could break your jaw, and I'm sure he could. So
hey,
I put
Mr. DH Thorne, I heard you talking shit. Yeah, we're going to start a little...
Yes!
We're going to start a little beef, but we ain't going to do it on Twitter. I'm going to send you over a messenger pigeon. And if I don't get that pigeon back, I'm going to come and I'm going to put this boxing glove through your asshole.
Oh, he probably would. I'd be like, Tyson, please, instead of punching me, just bite my ear off. Let's just do that. Please. Don't punch anything but the punch. Anything. I like my bones.
Okay, but only because I had to skip dinner tonight.
I don't know what that voice was segueing into, but...
Yeah, Keith. You gotta slur it a little bit. He's got the lisp. Yeah. I love that picture of him with the two pigeons. He's like, now Keith. Keith. For you guys who are interested in supporting my work, I just put a link. I pinned it in the chat. I am using Linktree now because I realize as I'm looking at the damn description of my videos and they're getting longer and longer with all of the crap that I sell and deal with. If you guys want to support me, you can easily do that by looking through those links and finding something that appeals to you. There's also links to my social media and stuff on there as well. So if you guys want to help me out, my books are there, Patreon's there, all the good shit's there. Teespring, all that good shit. So, all right, guys. So, I think I've said enough. I could go further, but I think the biggest thing is just as the introduction thought, understand how you're being influenced by way of perception, what they are making you perceive, what they're telling you. The propaganda wouldn't be happening if A, it doesn't work, because it does, and B, if it was hopeless. If it was hopeless, they wouldn't need to convince you that you're a slave. Remember that. Remember that. All right. So, what shall we continue about? I think we've been at this for almost an hour, right? Are we,
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna pop up the call-in thing, and we'll see what we get there. Anybody, if this is your first time here, then this is in fact a live call-in show. You can check the little blurb underneath my face right now. But if you wanna call in and tell a story, ask a question, go ahead and contact Flesh Priest on Skype, or also get on Discord in the Discord server that we have the link to up there, discord.gg/6EETR and 2 capital E's.
yeah, definitely jump in there. We have a blast in there. Trust me. I like I said, I'm very active in the political channel right now, but I will go back to the other stuff more. But it's a blast. You guys are all just lots of conversations and questions and good stuff going on in there. And, you know, it gives me a beat on who's into what, and when I can, I watch it and read it. And Eddie holds every once in a while little sermon night or whatever, a little educational night that he does once in a while. And we do a game night. Hopefully, we'll do one soon.
Yeah, well,
But we were going to do Elite Dangerous, weren't we? We were going to do an Elite Dangerous wing one of these days.
we were talking about that, yeah. It's a little bit dicey for, you know what's going on with just personal life stuff. I don't know when I'm going to be able to schedule a game night here.
Yeah.
But hopefully it will be sooner than later.
Yeah, you mean besides the regularly scheduled Fridays that we do, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. We'll probably have to, yeah.
As far as like server game nights though, we'll
right,
see.
Right. That takes a lot more and you got, yeah, exactly.
So, I do have a couple people saying they want to call in. I actually see, didn't message me, but Johannes is hanging out in the live stream call thing.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, Johan would be fun.
Actually, he's hanging out in Chamber of Voices, but he might want to...
Yeah, Johan, if you want to join in tonight, just send Flesh a message and we'll get you on the queue. Anybody wants to call in tonight? We're probably going to be going for about an hour more, at least. Usually we're on for about 3 hours, but I've been going to bed a little earlier lately, thank goodness, because I needed to switch. I'm actually a day person again the last 3 days, so it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's actually, I flipped completely, like, boosh, like somebody just like suplexed me. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, my boyfriend has been on nights too, but if there's a reason why it sounds like I'm being a little bit ASMR-y tonight, it's because he's actually passed out on fucking nitrous oxide and everything from a dental appointment, just right behind me. So trying to keep my voice a little bit lower.
Oh yeah, Eric, don't forget Eric was saying, I don't know if you call, he might not have told you yet, Des, but he might be late on Friday, so it might just be me and you for a bit,
Okay.
Unless I'm late. So hell, we could play Elder.
That's fine.
Actually, how many of you guys want to play Elder Scrolls Online as a big DH Thorne's fan club friend group? Man, that'd be fucking great. Because we got the guild already, don't we? We only have like 2 people in it.
Oh yeah, I think just you and me.
Yeah, let's if you guys like Elder Scrolls Online and you guys want to jump in that as a clan, freaking say something in the video game channel on Discord. So here's an action thing you can all do. If you guys want to jump into Elder Scrolls with us, understanding that there's times where I'm just not going to want to play with people, but I'll be there because I tend to be kind of like a solo type of guy. Because I like to read the stories and crap. Like I hate when people's like, oh, let's run around and kill everything, and I miss the story because like everybody's rushing. But sometimes I'd like to do raids and crap. So if you guys want to join us in Elder Scrolls Online, go to the Discord channel, and in the video game channel, say something like, put me in or something, and we'll try to figure out how to do it, and we'll get you guys in, and we'll send invites and all that shit. So, yeah, this way when we play, sometimes we'll do voice and all that stuff using Discord. It'll be a lot of fun. I know it'll be fun. I just found Craglorn And like, I can't solo that. I can, but I can't beat the hard stuff there. It's like, it's meant for groups. So I'm level 60 or 50 or whatever, and I can beat most of it, but it's starting to get harder there. So I want more people. I want to buy the Forlorn Cavern. That's what I want to buy. I want to get that place.
Sorry. I have one person lined up, and I'm currently just logisticking the others.
Yeah. Thank you, Darkness. You go keck the shit out. You know, I just got a keck ornament, actually. I was actually starting to get ready to, I was going to consecrate it at some point, but I've been very busy. So, say a few kecks for me, brother. Say a few kecks for me. Chatelet, motherfucker.
So, I have a previous guest that we've had on before, if you're ready for him.
I mean, yeah, let's give whoever that is a warm welcome and a naughty surprise. I mean, maybe I'll give them the warm welcome. You give them the naughty surprise. I think that's what they would expect.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, that's somebody. Hold on, is it somebody that I need to kill their camera?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
So
hey,
please welcome the great and powerful Patchwork.
Patchwork! Actually, I did have his video once, but yeah. What's up, Patchwork?
Okay. Hey, good to see you again, dude.
Not much, and it's pretty good seeing you guys as well. Decided to kind of drop in for a bit and get the call-ins started.
Fuck you, man. Fuck yeah, man. You were like the first one to ever call in. That was freaking awesome that first time. I was like, let's try call-ins. I've never done it before. And it was like all on Facebook.
I think you were the very first one, yeah.
Damn, was I?
Yeah, you were the fucking brave one. You were the lemming for everybody else. Everyone was like, I'm nervous, and you're like, I'm nervous too, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
And just throw caution into the wind. That's typically how I've been doing stuff lately. It's just like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah, really. That's a good attitude to have, man. Just say fuck it. Everything. You know, I've never accomplished anything by saying, I don't know. It's only when I say fuck it that I accomplish anything.
Yeah, you and me both. Both in like the everyday mundane life and in my magic, I pretty much just say, fuck it. I'm gonna do this.
Yep.
That's getting the best results too, every single time. Never fails.
Honestly, fuck it's the right attitude in general, because you know, especially in magic, because when you have a fuck it attitude, you're not attached. You're just like, fuck it, I don't care. Pass or fail, I'm just gonna fucking do it. Fuck it. Some of my best rituals have been done where it was so by the seat of the pants, but I had this fuck it, I gotta do it attitude. And I just went around my house grabbing things that I thought would work in the ritual. Like, I didn't even have it planned. I'm just running around grabbing candles, incense. What the fuck could I use for this? Oh, you know what? I could use something for that. I need an offering. What do I have? Oh, well, they like meat. I got some freaking cold cuts in the fridge. Fuck it. It's very much like how voodooans do, how voodoo does stuff, right? Because a lot of times in voodoo, it seems like they're using junk, but some of that junk is really powerful junk, right? So it's like that. Like I go around my house. Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, it's like, oh yeah, it's all about intention and perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you have the kind of fucking attitude, then, yeah, like you said, you're not really attached, or more so depolarized, in other words.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really care. You're not lusting over results, which, by the way, for those who don't know, that is one of the biggest things that could kill your magic, is lusting for results.
Mm-hmm.
Let it go.
Let it
After
go.
it's done, let it go.
In fact, that is often when it will manifest, is when if you are lusting, it's when you let it go that it will manifest. A lot of times, like love magic particular, this is where it's, most people, if you're going to do magic, it's going to be over something, if you're stupid, it's going to be something you have an intense feeling over. It's when I fail, the handful of times that I've failed, it's because I'm lusting after those results, because I'm terrified to not have them. I'm fearful, or I'm angry, or I desire them so much, like I can't be anything else. Then I'm not saying that it's guaranteed to fail. It's not a monkey's paw. It's just, it's guaranteed for it to be unreliable. It's guaranteed to be what it wants to be. Whereas, now having a strong desire is fine, so long as you're able to let go of that desire when you complete the practice, when you complete the ritual. You know, you need to have a certain amount of intentional desire, higher desire to do anything. So saying, oh, you should just completely not care, that doesn't work. You've got to have just the right amount of devotion to the point of doing it, and then you have to be able, a lot of energy has to be in it, and then cut it off. And if you do lust after the result, if you can cut it off at the end of the ritual or soon after, that's powerful. If you lust after the result continually after the ritual, then it's just like one of those, like a fighter plane crashing into a mountain. It just sucks.
Yeah, because you're still, say, when you're lusting for results like that, you're still consciously holding on to it. You're not pushing it down into the subconscious and letting whoever, whatever it is you called upon to help you with said thing to carry it out. Believe it or not, I've come to find out during the course of my experiments that the subconscious is kind of the doorway to the divine.
Oh, yes,
which is something, for whatever reason, I didn't want to accept for the longest time, which I don't know why or the reasoning behind that. Maybe it was religious programming, who knows. But I pretty much come to accept that now, and ever since I've accepted that, my magic has been free-falling a lot more smoother. And as far as just like coming up with stuff, usually like what I will do is I'll take and just create a artistic sigil for whatever, focus on that, as far as like visualization and stuff goes. But I also do combine it with form as well, actually putting in emotion and even acting out the manifestation itself.
No, dude, that's...
After that, I kind of just let it go. It's like, fuck it, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, that sounds really powerful. That's my favorite way to do things. I like to do things like scenes in movies. So, like, if I'm doing a simple ritual where I take my staff and I go out into the school field or somewhere in the wild, and I'll picture myself in a movie, like I'm a movie wizard or sorcerer or whatever the fuck I am. And I'll walk into the scene, and I'll be like, scene, and I'll enter, I'll role play that space, and I'll draw the circle on the ground. And as I'm doing it, it's like a meditation to completely not just, it's like method acting. I start off with, I'm going to just act like a sorcerer. Then like within a minute, 30 seconds or whatever, I'm totally in the zone and I'm feeling it and I'm acting out the ritual and I'm keeping it simple. And I visualize as best I can and I imagine best as I can everything happening around me. I'll imagine spirits come just appearing or walking up to the edge of my circle or to witness me and to work with me. And in the forest, I'll visualize eyes peering at me. And then suddenly the spirit that I want to work with will manifest. Now, sometimes it manifests with a poltergeist activity, and then it's really fucking awesome. I turn to face that immediately, and I talk to it, and that's where I go. Of course, the type of magic that I do is mostly, thaumaturgy, which means it's mostly going to be involving other spiritual beings. Once in a while, it's chaos magic or something in that vein. It's something that is not invoking or evoking some kind of a spiritual entity, but most of the time it is. That's when I get the most encouragement, the most sense of satisfaction. And by putting it in, it's a kind of weakness though. It's a little bit of a crutch. I got to warn you guys, as powerful as it is, it's a little bit of a crutch because you're giving yourself kind of a mind game. Like you said, your subconscious is the key. Well, when you're working with another spirit, you're kind of making an excuse. It shows actually probably you're not very good at detaching, if I had to be brutally honest, even with myself. And you are relying on another spirit to do it so that it gives you an excuse to just forget about it, to be like, well, that spirit's going to handle it for me. It also puts off the burden of success, so it's not all on your shoulders. You get to say, well, this spirit is handling it, so that means if it fails, I can just have an excuse and say, well, I guess the spirit didn't want me to have it then. It's not really like your magic failed, it just means that your petition failed. It's a way to separate yourself from the outcome. Now, knowing that, I do it a little bit differently, and it doesn't affect me as bad. But there was a time when that was, I thought about it, I'm like, is this or is this not just an excuse so that when it doesn't work, I can take the credit for it anyway? And that kind of honesty is necessary. If you aren't being that kind of honest with yourself about, especially working with spirits, some of you are going to say, that sounds like you don't believe in them. Faith is bullshit. The left-hand path is not about faith. You know, if you're theistic and you're on the right-hand path, that's different. There's a lot of people who practice black magic from a right-hand path perspective, and that's fine. It's not the way I do things. It's not the one I prescribe. You know, if you have faith in a higher spirit and you think Satan's higher than you and is your father and is your God, so be it. That's not what I teach. That's not what I do, but that's what you do. But as a left-hand path person, I'm going to be the first one to tell you that faith is for losers. Faith is for the weak. Faith is for those who rely upon other beings to do what they're already doing. You need to abandon all faith. You need to get rid of that idea. Faith implies that you don't believe, but you're going to do it anyway, or that you're trusting in it. Instead of, you don't need complete belief. It just needs to be kind of, I'm going to say indifference, but non-attachment to either end of what happens. Yeah, I wouldn't even say no. You could go. That's bordering on faith. I would go with more of a non-attached mentality. Like you said, fuck it. Fuck it is non-attached. Fuck it is not I believe. Fuck it is I don't care if I believe or not. I'm going to do it anyway. It's fuck it. That's why it's so powerful. You really have to, and magic works best when it's experimental in my opinion. I found that when I'm certain of my results, when I go into ritual going, well, this will always yield this. Some people are going to be different, but for me personally, it's the experimental phase when it's the most powerful, because I'm in that childlike wonder state where I have a fuck it attitude. I don't know if it's going to work or not. And I'm really open to it working. Like, I'm not putting like a heavy ask. It's literally like, okay, I've never done a wealth spell before. Let me do a wealth spell, see what happens. And like, I'll be walking down the road the next day and a $50 bill will blow across my feet and I go, oh, it fucking worked. Whereas if I really expected it to work, I might not actually notice the subtler manifestations of a $50. I'll be like, well, that's cool, but that's not what I was asking for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll suddenly move the goalpost. I'll be like, well, when I said wealth, I meant like a new car, man. Like, what the fuck? So
it's worth $1 billion or some shit like that. I mean, which is possible, but you know, you're still gonna have like the whole fucking attitude. You know, whatever happens, happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I'm getting a boop here. Who's booping me?
And it's like what I normally do whenever I delve more into like chaos magic. Yeah, I call upon like different spirits like out of the Necronomicon to help pour in some of their energy into it. But after that, once I dismiss everything and close down the ritual space, I'm pretty much just like, fuck it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. You got to walk away, leave it on the altar. So, Flesh, what do you think? I know you're still in the Nublar direction of this, but what do you think of these?
So I think I picked up enough of the conversation while doing some back end stuff. So maybe I heard all the wrong things, so correct me if I'm wrong, but no, I'd absolutely agree. The moment that something becomes too expected, in my experience, it may still work, but it becomes less potent from my experience. And like you said, maybe that's just goalposts moving or whatnot, but I almost always have good results when I am experimenting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be quite frank, I've read through your book, everything, and I took some of the inspiration of like, oh well, that sounds nice, but all this other shit, nah, I don't need to do that. Fuck it. This makes more sense to me, and I'll just start winging it.
Like specifically the path working section you kind of just glossed over, but everything else you used, right? Pretty much. Like most people.
Had a path working section?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So it's mostly the first two sections of Become the Maelstrom. It's the first two books that are in, because it's really 3 books in one. It's the first 2 books that it's like, if I was teaching a class on magic, those would be the key. The path working is like the homework. Like if you have your own methods, you can apply the first 2 books to any system of magic that there is. Whether it's Goetia, whether that's, anything, Enochian, anything you want. It applies to all of them. One thing I would also compare, go ahead, just let me remember tarot. Just remind me tarot, because I'm going to do an EA quoting and forget what I was talking about.
That was one thing I was actually going to say. It's very chaos magic-y in that regard, where it can apply to anything. Like, here's the guidelines, just whatever works, fucking do it, discard the rest. And every time that I'm just fucking winging it or whatever, like, it almost feels like a scene in a movie, like where where the two dudes are running away from something and just throwing everything behind their shoulders, trying to stop the guards or whatever. Just, I don't know if this is gonna work, but just keep running and something might happen. It's like almost always it
Right.
comes out pretty damn good. But
Yeah.
tarot.
Yeah, tarot. So magic, so the tarot and magic, or any kind of divination really, and magic. But the tarot is a really good example because a lot of people practice tarot. Tarot works really well when you don't expect or care what the cards are going to be. Tarot sucks the moment you expect or desire the cards to have an outcome. Fortune telling in particular is also naughty. I don't really believe in fortune telling. I think you can sense the direction of things, and things can always change. So I don't like, for example, I'd never risk my house on a tarot reading, right? But I might help a tarot reading help me decide what to do with the house, if that makes sense. There's a subtle difference, but it's not the same thing. You know, I wouldn't gamble the house on a tarot reading, but I might say, what's the better decision for me based on a tarot? Now, a tarot reading relates to magic in a lot of ways because the tarot is like the ultimate deck of human archetypes, human experiential archetype, human behavior archetype, human activity archetypes. It is the ultimate collection of the most obvious and powerful experiential archetypes in reality. And this is what makes it so perfect. In a lot of ways, you know, you could argue that the runes are similar because they're basically a similar idea. But I would argue the tarot, at least for our modern world, is way more effective even. It's one of the reasons why I like it so much. Now, I'm not like a master of the tarot, but I do love the tarot. And the tarot relates to magic in a lot of ways. You can use tarot cards to cast spells. You can use them as gateways, like sigils. You can invoke the energy of a tarot card into a ritual and cast it into something that you want to affect. The more you work with your cards, the more of an egregore they form, the more powerful they are. But tarot is also very magical in that, again, to do magic effectively, it's just like doing a good tarot reading. You need to be able to shuffle those cards and clear yourself. You need to then mix the cards and prepare yourself to let go, but you need to concentrate on the question. And then once you're ready to drop the cards, you need to clear your freaking mind and just and then scry the cards and let them be what they are. If you're spending your time going, oh, I really hope it's going to be this, or oh, I really think it's going to be that, you've ruined the reading. Your subconscious is not in control. Your ego, your left-hand brain is in control. Your reading is going to suffer for it. The reading should be a surprise. And one of the ways I taught myself tarot was not to care about spreads. Spreads are cool and everything, but you can have just as good a spread just by draw the cards till you feel you're done and let each card answer a question that the ones before it asked. You start off with one card, bam, what is the, you know, you might start with a question or a situation, of course, you know, should I buy the house? Or what happens if I buy the house? Or do I really want the house? Whatever your house-related question is. You draw that first card, you drop it. And maybe that card is, oh, I don't know, the Magician or something. And it's like, aha, yes, I'm in the Inception phase of buying a home. It's a good, accurate card, but that's not really answering my question. You know, let me draw another card. And maybe look at the Seven of Swords and be like, ah, yeah, something's robbing my power from this. Is something something about my strength and my will is being deprived. Yes, maybe it's my indecisiveness that's making me feel robbed of power. Let me draw another card. What is that? Is that the Nine of Rods, I believe, or what is that? And you just keep answering your questions by just drawing more cards. You can set a limit. You don't want to draw the whole deck out, but that's actually a really effective way to learn not just the cards, but to learn the energy of how to do a reading. If you go into a reading with, let me do the Celtic cross, nobody knows what the fucking Celtic cross is. Like, when you start now, right? Like, that's
actually one of the methods I use is the Celtic cross.
I hate that damn thing. I hate when people go, oh, I'm going to do the Celtic cross. Oh, okay, yep, we're going to do, yep. I prefer when I get my own, you know, that's why I made my own spreads. They're very simple. It's just 3-card spreads, except for the Lucifer and the 9 King spread, which I'm very proud of that spread. That's in Become the Maelstrom. It's a very, very powerful reading. It's the kind of reading you only do like once. You don't do that more than a couple times a year. Like that's a Like on your birthday, do that one, for example. Don't do that one like every week, you know, maybe every 3 months or so, 4 months. You need the energies to really reset in between that reading. It's a very deep reading.
I may actually try that particular spread just to see what would happen.
It's a good one. If you get it to work, it's a good one. I every time I've used it, I've gone, holy shit, it's accurate, and damn, it's like really like, it's very penetrating because it handles the 3 main areas of your life. You know me in threes, everything's threes. It handles, you know, your interpersonal, your financial, and your authority, your power, your you know, things like that. And then it's got a card from Lucifer that is a message to you that is very specific. So I like that reading. I like that reading.
You know, like how you mentioned threes, because when you were mentioning threes, you know, I immediately thought of the Eye of Providence.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who don't know what the Eye of Providence is, it's like the triangle with the all-seeing eye in it. And I know some people would associate that with the Illuminati or whatever, but that symbol in itself isn't even actually theirs.
No, it's not.
No,
I've often interpreted it as the Eye of Providence is the all-seeing eye. It's actually consciousness itself. It's not, you know, some people say, oh, it's God if they're a pantheist. That's what they're saying. It's God. Or oh, it's the unseen. It is the consciousness that is everything. It is you. It is the true you. It is the I am, as some people would say. It's actually one of the greater keys of creation is to understand not just the symbolism of it, but to understand the very behind the meaning of that symbol and really understand. In fact, that's probably why Legion, you know, the sigil I use for him is basically a black version of it, like an inverted version of that.
A shadowy version of it, per se.
Yeah. It's like the other side of the Eye of Providence. It's the all unseeing eye. It's the all unseen eye is what it is. It's the you know, because most people, when I say like you're the all and you're all aware, you know, you aren't as a mortal ego. You're not, and you can pretend you are. You can know that ultimately that's what you are. But you, when you're trapped in your ego mind, that's not you. There's an unseen, you know. That doesn't mean you don't transcend. It doesn't mean you don't have transcendent moments where you're fully aware. And you'll know when it happens because it's unmistakable, the feeling, but it's definitely.
Oh yeah,
different.
it'll hit you like a train.
Yeah. A very soft, gentle train. Just, oh, I'm the universe.
Yeah, most of my answers, like to like a lot of the bigger questions that I've had in the past, you know, all come to me through my dreams, which is one of the reasons I started keeping a dream journal.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually it's actually pretty cool going back and looking over different stuff that I've received in the past. I've actually have some pretty useful information in there that I can that I've been using in my magic, which has helped significantly.
Yeah. Stuff you find in dreams can be really powerful. Sometimes the trick is to not care how goofy it is, because a lot of times dreams will be goofy or weird, and sometimes that's actually just your subconscious's way of masking how important it is.
Yeah.
I realized I was muted that whole time.
You
I wish
bastard.
so much that I could make a dream journal like you, and I've thought about it a couple times, and each time I'm just like, oh, but each time I'm just like, oh, right, I never dream. Fuck.
Yes, you do. You just don't remember because you don't journal it.
I don't remember it by the time I wake up.
Attaboy.
I mean, hell, this dream journal isn't even anything like. The journal itself isn't even anything fancy. It's just a black sketchbook I happened to pick up from Walmart for about $5, and I literally drew the elder sign from the Necronomicon all over the front of it.
My favorite journal is just a replaceable journal that I have. It's actually one of my most effective ones.
And I'm actually almost out of paper now when I have to buy another one here soon because I've written at just about every single page of this book.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through the one that I set up for this year. I actually haven't written in it in weeks because I've been so distracted by all the bullshit and the other things I'm doing. Like, I haven't been making any discoveries of the spiritual. I've been making them mostly of the mundane lately. So, yeah, so it's pretty important shit.
No. I know in some of these pages, I've even got sigils and stuff wrote down in my dream journal that I've caught in my dreams, along with different incantations and stuff like that, that I've used in a lot of my magic. And I'm like, I better write this down in my dream journal as well, because it appeared to me in a dream.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Exactly.
And also another thing is like whenever you're actually dreaming about doing magic, whether it be like a cleansing, an exorcism, manifestation, or anything like that, you know, that to me is actually a pretty good sign, because that shows how much of an impact your magic has in your subconscious mind, and it's good to take notes of that, because it will also help you to grow and to increase your magical capabilities as a magician.
Yep. I like using a journal because I like looking back on stuff that I did like 3 months ago and go, oh, that's wow, that idea I didn't even think of, but it applies even more now than it did when I first heard it. Wow. You know, a journal is good for that. Whether it's in magic or anything, you should be journaling a lot of stuff. I've actually learned to love journaling. I love going back and looking at stuff because sometimes it'll inspire you more than anything, honestly. Like going back in your journal and like seeing a scribble that you made, like a little sketch. Like I'll have a vision of something or an idea and I'll start sketching it out and I'll put it in my journal and I'll forget about it. I'll go back to it like 6 months later and be like, wow, I was really onto something right there. I need to finish that idea. And then I do, and it's great. So anyway, Patch, thanks for calling, man. It's been great to see you again. I think...
yeah, it's been pretty good being on here, being able to chat with you guys again.
Fuck yeah, man. How are you planning on spending the next half of the apocalypse?
Next half of the apocalypse, mostly just working on myself and continuing to learn how to control my emotions better, which is something that I've definitely been working on a lot.
Don't try to control your emotions. Let it be what flows through you, and you don't become your emotions. How about that?
Oh, that's a.
It sounds like a fortune cookie, but it's true. You know.
Thank you for the insight, brother.
You're welcome, man. He's like, "Fuck you, Pontificatus."
Yeah, it sounds a little bit like.
Yeah,
you like water, my friend.
It did. It sounded like he said, "Fuck you" in your water thing. No, but for real, don't try to control anything. Let it go, man. The best way to master your emotions is to not try. Just let them be, and you'll find after a while you just won't care. You'll be like, I don't need to worry about my emotions. I'm just gonna let them out. The thing is, when you try to control your emotions, that's when they act up. Not because of some bullshit. What's the word? Reverse psychology or some petty bullshit. It's that perceptional issue again. The more you're dwelling on them and noticing them, the more power that you're giving them. The more you try to resist them, the more you frustrate yourself. The more you let go.
It's like the more you resist them, it's like the more it will persist.
Mm-hmm.
What you focus on most,
what you focus
will manifest one way or another. What goes in has to come back out. Oh, holy shit! Thank you.
It's true. Because I never really dealt with anger, but I've dealt with emotional issues before. And just like with magic, when I'm dwelling on it, it never changes. When I'm just letting it go and letting it come and go, that's when I'm fine. I have a very short anger span, a very long temper. When I do go off, I'm like a bomb. Then I walk away and I'm fine. I don't hold grudges very much. If I do, they're intellectual grudges. They're not emotional grudges. Intellectual grudges is more like don't stick your dick in a light socket. It's going to fucking hurt. Except instead of not sticking my dick in a light socket, I smash the light because I'm like, fuck that. I'm not taking a chance on you. So I guess we've reached that part of the stream, Flesh. I think we've, people said that this new staff I made is very phallic. It's kind of upsetting.
I mean, staves are just phallic.
By the way, Johan, if you're here, have you? Or no, not Johan. Johan does know already. Johan already knows. Flesh Priest, have you had a chance to decipher? Let's say goodbye to Patchwork and let's see if you've had a chance to decipher what's on the staff yet.
Take it easy, Patch. Fucking
you
good
guys,
talking to you, man.
All right, brother. Thank you for calling. Call again, man.
Of course.
Well, I cut him out at fucking wrong moment. I thought he was done.
He's like, I love you guys, Paul.
I have not tried deciphering the staff. In fact, I was all set up to do a live stream deciphering the new Trinity of Self you made this weekend. And
Same symbols.
oh man, this weekend, dude.
Yeah. You heading into it?
What's that?
You're heading into it?
Heading into what?
You said, oh, this weekend.
Oh, this weekend was hell.
Yeah.
I remembered at the last minute. It's like, I'm just not gonna do that. I'll do that later. Who knows? Maybe this weekend I'll do the deciphering.
Yeah, if you can. The thing I like about it is like you have to figure out what is what. Like what where does one begin? When does one end? How do you tell?
So you mentioned the staff specifically. Is the what you have on the staff, is that the same thing that you have on the new Trinity of Self?
Yep.
Okay, so by decoding one, I decode them both.
Yep.
So I think the main thing that would fuck me up with it, because I'm pretty confident in my ability to decipher substitution ciphers as long as I have a context of what I'm looking for, which is essentially what you did there. However, if you changed around some of the words, that might throw me for a loop, but I have enough context that I could probably make it work.
Oh no, I made it easy for you. You just have to figure out the formulation.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, as much as I can, I'm not gonna use the information presented in the first book to help me.
Oh, you
I'm
could.
gonna try to do it off memory.
I'm not saying it's going to be that hard. It's just going to be interesting to see if you figure out any of it because of the way it's designed. It's actually not like I could see exactly how I'd figure it out, but you have to know. You kind of have to know the principles it's based on a little bit to figure out at least part of it. And I'm pretty proud of it. Very proud of it. Yeah.
I've got a pretty good feeling.
Uh-oh. He's got a pretty good feeling. He knows, everybody. He knows. He's got it. He's figured it out. I gave you too many clues?
No, I have a thing for cryptographs. Or cryptographic puzzles. So,
yeah, I had asked King Paimon for something Atlantean, and he was like, well, I can't give you that. I'm like, why not? He's like, well, you wouldn't understand the language, so any kind of writing would make no sense. I'm like, okay. But I'll give you something inspired that is similar to that. I'm like, okay. And so that's where it came from. And yeah. So for those of you who haven't seen it, that's
fucking cool as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
So the white part's optional. Just makes
the original. The original looks very much it looks like something I would see in a fantasy game, whereas the version 2.0 looks like something that I would see in a cyberpunk game.
Yep. Or like yep. I could totally see that, especially like neon. Like imagine all the squiggles in neon. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yep, definitely. It's kind of got a minimalist quality to it, a very geometric minimalist quality to it. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so I have the next caller lined up. This person is on Discord, and so we will have to drag them into the call.
You have to drag me in there. We have to mute each other and all that kind of good stuff. Let me jump
Yep,
in.
I'll remember to actually mute you this time.
Yeah. Echo. All right, where am I going?
Do the live stream call-in channel. And I'm going to mute you really quick.
Okay, I got you down. Yep.
Okay, excellent. So now I'm going to drag this dude into here. Witch Goblin, you should be able to hear us. We can't hear you because you're currently muted, though.
Yeah, let's unmute that motherfucker.
I think it's on his end, not on our end.
Oh, yeah, I think he's got to unmute. Well, actually, there was something I had to change. Nope, there he goes. He's back. He's good. Witch Goblin, can you hear us? Please respond.
Summoning.
He must have to adjust, or she must have to adjust their microphone. Do they know? Do they know?
Yeah, I just sent them a message. I see them messing with it, so We'll
Okay.
give you a little bit of time to figure that out, and we'll get into that once we hear you.
We could bring in the other person. They might be ready. And we could come back to Witch Goblin.
I don't know if he is ready.
Oh,
let
okay.
Let me ping him. He was responding on here.
It'll be a race. Whoever's ready first.
But I'm happy you said the thing about like just being so distracted that magic has been like not on the back burner. That's not the word you used. I can't remember how you put it, but oh man, with the shit that's been going on in my life too, it's just been like, yeah, I know I need to start doing more of that, but like, Jesus Christ, I'm so focused on this other shit right now, it's hard.
Yeah.
I've been doing small things every day.
Yeah, when your attention is in the wrong place, it's definitely a problem. Definitely a problem. So, looks like he unmuted himself again. I don't know if it's going to work yet.
Yeah, try, Witch Goblin, try going into your settings and see if you got the right mic picked up there. Okay, so our other guy says that he'll be in there in a few minutes, so we'll give Witch Goblin a chance and we'll bring in the other guy. If not, I actually am curious to hear this person's story. They said they had a good one about involving reptilians.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know what Johan has cooked up, but Johan's always good to hear from.
Yes,
So
we love Johan.
he could read the dictionary.
You could read the dictionary.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can't hear you now.
Oh yeah, I can't hear you now.
You gotta
Ooh.
something. You gotta
Some
use
kinda
headphones,
echo
maybe.
going
Or,
on, echo going on.
Yeah, I'm using headphones. Should I take them out?
No, that's weird. The headphones should
weird. The headphones should
be
All right,
fixing that.
who
Should be
is
fixing
echoing?
that.
Should
Oh
not be
no!
happening.
Oh no! Sorry, everybody. Technical
difficulties.
Who fucked up? Me?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's coming from
It's coming from.
Witch.
your end, Witch Goblin. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know. That's
definitely
weird.
Witch.
Testing.
Could be that.
Okay.
Yeah, he must have
it's
turned
fixed.
it off.
It's fixed. Nope.
All right,
never
is
mind.
it fixed now?
Nope, never mind.
You might have to use push to talk. How about that? Use push to talk, and then that way it will only
Okay.
pick you up when it's your
Or-
turn.
Yeah, or mute yourself when you're not talking. Either
Yeah.
or.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, we're hearing ourselves double.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Witch, how are you? Arachnos is like, shit, the acid's kicking in. Echo, 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 echo. Who is it? Today is the greatest day of my life.
But yeah, how are you doing, dude? You said you let me know in the DMs that you had a reptilian story that you wanted to share.
I'm wondering if this is working.
I don't think so. I'm not hearing him.
All right, we'll give him 10 more seconds, and then we'll probably have to move on. He can
All
call
right.
back another time. That'd be fine. I don't want to give him any disrespect. Oh, I hear my echo now. That means he's back.
Oh, you there, dude?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I didn't know I have to hold it for the push to talk.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay, that would do it.
You
Cool.
might have to let it go when you're done because it's still echoing. So,
Okay.
all right, there we go. All right, so when you're ready to talk, you press it, hold it. When you're done talking, let go. All right, so you had a story about reptiles. So lay it on us, and first introduce yourself. Say hi to everybody. What's up?
Well, hello everyone. I am Ace the Goblin on Discord, Witch Goblin 999. You know, I'm a music artist and I make music on YouTube and I practice the dark arts.
Awesome.
Yeah,
did you just join the Discord? Sorry, Flash. Go ahead.
I think he was on last week or maybe the week before. I actually did. I checked out one of your songs and I was pretty impressed. You go pretty fucking fast.
Yeah, I'm a fast rapper, underground rapper. Yeah.
Oh, now I got no. I didn't see this. Where's a link I can get? Because I tend to like some of that stuff. Fucking Afro's like one of my favorite like new guys. Like I don't know, maybe that's like.
Oh yeah, he's good. Oh yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I was on like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna.
And I missed last week.
Yeah, what's his let me go on his thing here.
I'm gonna dig up one of your songs really quick, Ace, and I'm gonna just put that in the promotions for you right there. Or the self-promotion.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks.
Thing.
Much appreciation. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime you come up with a new song, just put it in shameless plugs, dude. That's what it's there for. Anytime you got something, or arts and crafts. Like usually arts and crafts is like projects you're working on, and shameless plugs is like products that you got. So.
Okay, actually, I have a project that I'm working on. It's a mixtape. It's called The Resurrection of the Goblin, and it's in the works right now, and it's going to have some much, magical essence into it, even some summonings and things like that.
Okay. Let me, is this going to hit me with a context strike if I play it on my stream for a minute? Is it going to be, if it does, just be like, no, it's not a problem.
No, it's not a problem. No, it won't.
Okay. Let me start.
Yeah,
you should play Hellish Flames on my YouTube. Hellish Flames.
All right, let me go there. Let me go there.
Quite frankly, I'm a little bit mad because each time I try to fucking rap, because I fucking love the fast shit, it all just turns into I can't get my fucking lips to form words that fast.
Well, let me tell you, it's all in the tongue. You see, when you have a strong tongue and you can move your tongue really fast, then you'll be able to rap fast.
Now you're speaking Desmond's language. All right, let me hit play on this bad boy.
Oh, right, we won't hear it, but it's pretty quick.
I gotta clear it.
I was wondering. Which track is it?
Hellish Flames.
Cool. What to say, that's not really one of my fastest ones.
Traveling in my veins, the hell flames and torture me. Electric in my hands, I'm sparking it. In the night, my eyes ain't darkening. I walk in the water of swamp, it just jet the end of the Asmodeus. Damn, Itachi shit, I summon ravens. I'm in hell of a bliss, the mind of the demon. The dark and black is the hidden. In the dark magic circle, my blood is dripping in. Sorcery is the essence encircling. In my eyes, you see in destruction. In your body bursting, combustion, handcrafted, turn a pole on black magic. I'm slashing, any motherfucker come clashing. Invoking the demon, I'm the big masking. In the battle, get lost in the magic. Taskmaster, coming copycat, taking your mold as your master breath.
Oh yeah, sorry, well they can all hear it.
Crashing heavens, feeling hellish, dark and power essence. You live normal life, but I'm
on my phone, so I can't.
In the mind's eye, perceiving beyond the belly. The great serpent beheld in the most sexes. Human flesh and cut by weapons, spectral electric spells.
I listen to it all the time.
I know how that feels. It's good when you can, though, when it doesn't bother you.
In my eyes, it's flames of scorcher, awaken in the world of terror, horrors. In your dreams, I'm gonna torture. Looking eyes of Satan, this is the rebellion. Looking eyes of Satan, this is the rebellion.
We say that we plug shit, other people's shit too. I'm gonna make sure we get a link to your channel.
Thanks.
Fuck yeah, dude. I wouldn't even just say that's not bad. I'm gonna say, why don't you have like a couple thousand subs already?
Yeah, man, I say the same, bro.
Fuck yeah, dude. No, I like that a lot. I like that. We got El the Alchemist too. He does pretty good stuff too. But no, I like that. That's more like my speed. That's more like what I grew up liking. Like that's definitely, I like that one. I like it a little bit. I actually like slower stuff. That wasn't slow though. It was like about average. And I know you got some fast stuff. I'm gonna sub that. I'm gonna check that out more.
Definitely. If you want me to spit something like really fast right now, really quick, I can do that.
What do you mean? You're gonna freestyle right here with us? Or are you gonna play it?
No, I can freestyle right now.
Oh shit! All right, everybody, shut up.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Okay. My body's ready. I don't know if I'm ready.
Floor is yours.
Go for it. Go.
Okay, here we go. And I can even go faster than this. This is pretty fast. I bring you to lens of the haunted. You see the horrific. I burst when the hell is responding. You look in my eyes and you see in the monster. The dark the hood is a source to recover. And I will set the plane to the everything you touch. And I'm putting my blood in the goblet. And up in the dream you're seeing the goblin. I'm up at the devil.
That's pretty quick, dude. You should sign up for what are they when they're selling stuff? Those what's it called? But no, it'd be so much cooler the way you do it because he can say it like all cool and shit. No, but he can say it so much cooler than like those people. Like it would just be like they'll just be like bopping it
all the time.
Yeah, the thing that pisses me off about that is you've got a really fast flow, like you got the triplet pattern going there. And I'm like, okay, if I practice enough, maybe I can get to that point. And then you just go double time for a second. It's like, son of a fucking bitch.
I'm gonna say something really cornball, but hopefully it's funny.
Here's some.
It's like Cardi B's, but cool. Like it's instead of just being stupid, it's cool. No, because it's fast like that. It's like,
hey, check these lyrics out. Check these lyrics out real quick. I'm feeling the presence of Aquaman, isolate Juju, the adverse mind, summon Nebraska.
Oh, I cut out right when it was getting good.
Oh, damn it.
He must have forgot to hold the button down. We're gonna have to get his audio fixed for another.
My bad.
No, that's all right. You just got to where it was good too. I was like, oh fuck. Let's give him another try on the Gong Show, and if it plays good, I'm gonna ask him some questions.
Seraphim says that they'll battle you.
Oh shit, dude, we should have a freaking and like freaking.
Fucking.
Really? Rap battle.
We'll just have a stream where it's just nothing but magical rap battles.
Seraphim, if you've got music, put it in freaking Discord. We'll have a good time. We'll play the freaking robot rap battle game. Oh my god, from the fucking Party Jackpot. Hey, look, don't play with these two, man. Don't play with them. Like we're just gonna get our asses handed to us the whole time. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So, I do really want to hear this. You said you had a reptilian story.
Oh yeah.
I've never had any experiences or anything, but I always do enjoy the stories.
Yeah, man. People, you hear a lot about the draconians and, the alien reptiles and everything, And I had this experience when I was first getting into astral travel. And this is an astral projection experience. So if you're ready, I can tell you.
Absolutely.
I'm more inclined to believe them in the astral than in the physical, so lay it on us, man. I want to hear it.
Okay, so one day I was getting into my, astral projection practice and meditation. And I've been practicing this for a long time now. And so whenever I finally exited the vibrational state, which is the sleep paralysis state, but consciously induced, and the vibrations hit really hard, things like that, and it can frighten a lot of people, which make them not astral project. You have to keep conscious, calm mind. And so once I entered out of my body, and many times whenever I exit out of my body, I've entered into a different room or a different setting. And so I was in this dark house. And so I'm walking through this house, well, not walking, floating, I should say, because I've never walked. So I'm floating, and I enter the kitchen, and there's this, you know how they can have a counter where the people, make the food on and chop everything up, something like that, just to give you a visual.
Okay.
So it was right there. I walked towards the counter, and there was this green. I'm gonna try to paint this reptilian as possible as I can, because it's
always when he gets good. We're gonna have to go to his house and fix his setup so we could talk. What if his Discord buffering or something? Maybe he got buffered.
I don't know. The buffering normally sounds a little bit different. Like you hear some robot.
Well, he did robot for a split second before he cut out.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Maybe we should have him, like, next time put it on Skype or something, because if he's using a phone, he could get Skype on his phone, and it would be a little bit more smooth. But
we're just gonna have to set up that Skype number.
Yeah, it's just, I looked into it. It's bucks. It's bucks.
Oh, fuck.
It'll have to be. We're gonna need a little bit more than what we're getting right now to make it to really justify it.
We're summoning you back, Ace.
Worst case, we will promise to have him on next week, and if he wants to, we'll just have to get him fixed up so he can do Skype or whatever. Because he's on Discord, we can help him out right through there.
Yeah. Damn it! I feel blue ballsed.
I know. Like he was just getting where he's going to describe it. I'm already starting to picture the reptiles from V. Ever watch that movie? The old one, not the new one. The old V. I'm already starting to picture that shit.
I didn't even know that was an older one until the series came out. Arachno says reptilian interference.
Probably, right? That's like that on the Tool song Fayepto Aid that came from that Art Bell call where the guy's like, they know about them and they're gonna kill us all, and then he cuts out and it was like really fucking spooky. Like the first time I heard that, I was falling asleep. Actually, it's my friend's story, but it's pretty much, he told me the story and it actually hit me like it was me. He's like, he was falling asleep and he was listening to that album for the first time, and it got to the, like there's a space between the last song and that one, like a long space or whatever, and he was dead asleep, and then that song woke him up, and it was like the most nightmarish thing he could ever. Because imagine that's what you wake up to in the middle of the night. Is this?
No, I actually don't have to imagine, because I had a very similar experience. I had the benefit of having listened to the album before, and I happened to, I put it on and laid down in bed, and then I woke up, and that was what was playing, and I was sure the aliens were abducting me or something for a split second.
At that moment, yeah. All right, I think we're gonna have to tell Ace that like we want him back, because that was a really cool. Really cool introduction to the dude. So please don't take it personally, brother. Let's have you back on. Go ahead, Fletcher.
Yeah. In fact, if you can get it working even tonight, we'll try to fucking bring you back in. So get the setup all fixed up. Fucking nothing personal. I really do want to fucking hear the story. I'm gonna bring him out of here for a. Oh wait, hold on. I see something. Are you there, Ace?
Yeah, it's just some kind of setting issue.
Okay.
It's got to be. It might be because he might be on a phone. It sounds like he's on a phone. So.
I think so. So
yeah.
I'm gonna put him in the other channel for now.
Yeah, put him in the corner, and you've been naughty, Ace. Even though you're awesome, you've been naughty.
I'm gonna agree with Necro Nicky. Ghosty Man is pretty magical, especially that fucking music video for Mercury. Holy shit. Okay, so I think, you know what? I'm just gonna bring the next guy right on in.
I have a feeling the next guy probably appreciated that too. He's a music lover, aren't you, Johan?
Hello.
Hey there. Sorry, brought you in all surprised like.
Johan, my friend, what is up?
Hi there. Let me turn down my speaker so we don't get feedback.
Okay, cool. I feel like we're like an old school radio station. Really
Here we go.
Nice.
I can hear you. Am I coming through okay?
You sound great on my end, which means they can hear you. Yep.
Excellent.
So what's going on, Johan? What you want to talk about?
Oh well, wasn't really sure, but I gotta say I love Ace's music. There's actually been a pretty cool dark magic rap underground around ever since Isham, but not too many people know about it, and you got to know where to find it.
I'm an eclectic motherfucker, and I collect everything. If that makes sense, I love that. That was good stuff, and it was good. That was he's like right at that like perfect underground level. Like he's not.
Oh yeah.
He hasn't. It's not like super studio, but it sounds good. Like it sounds. Like that's the shit when I was growing, because like when I was a kid, I used to go to the underground metal shows. I used to be a bouncer at some of the underground rap shows in Manhattan. Like, oh man, well, I wasn't like the best bouncer. I was like the little guy. I was like the littlest giant. Like I was the small bouncer. That I was the guy holding the clipboard, and I told the bigger bouncers what to do. I'm 6'1" and like 240 pounds at the time, so I wasn't small, but I was the small one, if that makes sense. And no, it was really funny, dude. I know my music. That's good stuff. Yeah. So he's saying in the chat he doesn't know what happened. Ace, I'm telling you, it's something with Discord. Chat us up in Discord. We'll try to help you out, or someone will help you out. Get set up with Skype or something. Yeah, it's a lot more reliable.
I'm talking to him right now, and yeah, just so you know, like, do really fucking want to hear that story. Just had to move on to the next guy just to give you some time to sort that out. We do fucking want to hear the rest of it, though.
Yeah, it's nothing personal.
I got goosebumps.
So Johan, what's been good? I haven't talked to you in like what, 4 days, 5 days?
Well, I've been myself trying to pull myself away from the political news long enough to at least do something. And first part of this week, I decided to sit down and do some ritual reading, not divinatory, but book reading. And so I sat down with a copy of the DeLawrence edition from around World War I of The Key to the Tarot, which, yes, okay. everybody knows that DeLawrence literally pirated Arthur Edward Waite's pictorial Key to the Tarot and put his own name on it. But it's still interesting to have a DeLawrence edition just due to the reputation that all the DeLawrence publications had on the Obia scene in Jamaica.
It's always funny when you you have all this book knowledge and you're like, and of course we've all read, and I'm like, I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, I'm far less knowledgeable too. I just grab shit and make things work. This makes sense.
Well, hey, making it work is what magic is all about.
True.
Absolutely.
True. You can think it, you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I am something of kind of like the ultimate, magical bibliophile, and now I'm finding myself running out of room on my bookshelves. But
hey, contact me. I'll make you some more bookshelves.
He can. Yeah, he really can.
Excellent.
When I eventually get my house, and Desmond has his wood shop / hut in the back, where he lives a humble but beautiful life. He's just gonna be making me furniture and staves and like I want a solid wood computer. Can you make me a wooden computer?
Oh, hold on. We'll talk about that later. I actually found the coolest goddamn thing, which isn't too far off from what you just described. But yeah,
because I want a wooden computer.
I'm here to wax my lord's staff.
I want a wooden computer that looks magical, and then I want it to look like it's like an elvish creation where the lights inside look more like they're flowing energy through the. I'm being really weird, but it's true. I want that. I want it.
There's a guy out there who rebuilds computer stuff. What is it? Steampunk style. That's pretty cool.
That sounds cool. Yeah, like a bunch of gears and shit. Fuck yeah. Actually, watching Coedding's video about. I don't know if he's still here, but he had that. You guys should check out his channel. He is one of his most recent videos. If it's not his most recent, I forget. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I'm aware of what he's doing, and it's inspiring to me. I want to get some junk and make my own version of this idea, because it's like I want to invoke
radionics box.
Yeah, I want to invoke Nyarlathotep and be like, inspire me to inspire, because he's very much like a Tesla figure in a lot of the stories, right? So I want to get like old timey-wimey vacuum tube stuff, and I have like an old parking meter. Maybe I'll hook that up to it and just like create this completely irrational contraption that will somehow be circuited to some quartz and some other stuff, and have some dials and doohickeys, and see if I can make it function as that. I really want to try it. It sounds like a really fun idea. Maybe use
I'm
little
gonna butt
specimen
in real
tubes.
quick.
Yeah.
I do fucking want to hear this conversation, but I'm gonna go help with some back end stuff. I'm gonna
Okay.
hang up and I'll be back in a few.
That means that we're going to be like, what are we going to talk about? I'll still be able to hear you.
It's always a good conversation with Johan, though.
We're on
True.
on a good roll about steampunk computers at this point.
Of course, if it's just Johan, we're going to talk politics because that's like.
Oh, what was that? Okay, see you guys.
Oh man, we need to get him like a little smoke bomb. The way he did the thing with his fist, I should have been like a cloud of smoke enveloped him and made him go away. So yeah, going back to like a conversation that Flesh Priest and I had about that game Control, and in that game Control, they make the specific case that objects that are of older origin have more chance to become part of the collective conscious, and therefore have more potential for magic. And that's why I'm like really attracted to like getting old timey-wimey stuff and screwing it together. So yeah.
I've kind of sensed that intuitively with a lot of old buildings that sometimes when a building has been around long enough, it's almost like it becomes its own sentient egregore.
Sure, almost anything does that, but some things more so than others. Absolutely, I think homes are a good example. Just there's a lot of things like that.
I've seen it with a hotel in Chicago. There's a hotel called the Congress Plaza. Beautiful old Beaux-Arts building from the turn of the last century that was originally built for the Chicago World's Fair. Mm-hmm. And it's still in business as a hotel. I stay there every time I go to Chicago. It has a reputation of being the most haunted hotel in Chicago.
Really?
But about the only spirit I've ever encountered in the hotel seems to be that of the building itself.
Very possible, and don't forget, a lot of things, they could merge because the egregores of people that are associated with the building, they do kind of merge, right? I mean, if you've got like, oh, this guy died here, well, his egregore is inextricably linked now to the egregore of that building too. So I do think over time egregores merge. It keeps them alive, it keeps them the memory of them keeps them alive, and so so long as one of them prospers, and the one that's most likely to prosper is either going to be the hotel or the person who died there, right? That's going to be like usually together. They usually have to be together. So yeah, there's something to that. I think there's something to that. I know I stayed at the Wayne Hotel in Wayne County in Honesdale once or twice, and it's a very old hotel. It's supposed to be the hotel where Abraham Lincoln supposedly decided to run for president. And it was so old that it didn't have indoor plumbing until, I don't know, 60, 70, 80 years ago, something like that. So the bathrooms are literally in what used to be the closet. So you don't even have room to like close the door without you have to like if you're a larger mammal like me, it's like juggling to get through the door and hold your wiener and do what you got to do. So,
that brings me to a story which kind of ties the whole thing in a little bit with non-dualistic metaphysics and Platonic philosophy.
Only on this channel could we go from me talking about juggling my wiener to non-dualistic metaphysics.
Indeed. There's a hotel in Pasadena called the Langham Huntington, and the story behind it was, on that site was originally an old hotel called the Hotel Huntington, which got very, very badly damaged in an earthquake in 1989.
Okay.
And it was abandoned for many years after that. And there was a big fight between the Ritz-Carlton Company and the local preservationists. The Ritz people wanted to tear it down and build a new modern hotel. And they went back and forth and back and forth. And finally, a compromise was reached. And the compromise was that they were allowed to demolish the old Huntington and build a new hotel on the site, but it had to be an exact replica of the old Huntington. I mean, they could use modern construction, and they could make it seismically safe, but it had to look inside and out exactly like the old Huntington. Mm-hmm. And darned if they didn't pull it off. I sent a photograph of it to my late mother, who had seen it back during World War II when it was being used as a temporary military hospital, and my father was in there for an injury for a couple of months. And when she saw the pictures, she could not believe that was not the original building. Mm-hmm. But in fact, it was. It was built during the early 1990s, but it was literally an exact replica. Well, fast forward a little bit, it changed hands and is now owned by the Langham chain. And back in 2017, when I took my girlfriend to the company holiday party in Pasadena, I knew I didn't want to drive her all the way back home after we'd both had a bit too much to drink. So I got a good deal on a room for us at the Langham. And make a long story short, she was pretty plastered. And when we got to the room, I ordered some food and we were sitting around talking, and she was talking to people in the room, and she was like, "Don't you see him there?" And she would describe a man standing there, or a lady sitting near her who would only speak French. And I didn't see any of them, but at the same time, I was not about to doubt that, she was seeing and talking to to entities in the room.
Oh, wow.
And so it's okay. No, I don't see him, but tell me what he's saying. And so this went on for a little while, and the next day after we went to breakfast, I spoke for a while with one of the hotel staff, who had mentioned that the old Huntington had been notoriously haunted, and that there were rumors that some of the ghosts, when the old building was demolished and the new one was created as an exact replica, simply took up in the new one. After all, it looked the same.
Yep.
And it's like the form was identical, even though the matter was different, and it was, quite enough that the spirits were, happy taking up residence there as soon as it was completed.
Well, this brings up the ship of Theseus to my mind. It's the idea of this ship that when it leaves, it's made out of, certain materials. It's got wood boards and it's got sails and all this stuff. And along its voyage, things become damaged. And every time they make a stop, they replace something. And over time, more and more of it's replaced until by the time it finally reaches its final destination, when it's done with all of its voyages, not a single plank, not a single scrap of sail, not a single dab of paint, nothing is what it was when it left, and yet it still bears the same name, and it is still considered the same ship. And that is one of the most powerful metaphors for understanding your experience as a living being, because it is exactly the same for you. You are exactly the same as that building, in fact. The building is a great example of the ship of Theseus. It's exactly the same story. The egregore of what it is remains, and it is simply transposed, translated, transmutated through to the next incarnation. So that's why I say you're constantly being reincarnated every moment of every day. Every thought is a new incarnation. You're a different person than you were when you started this conversation with me. It's that old saying by the Stoic. I forget who. I think it was by the original Stoic. What's his name? I'm getting a ring in there. That's probably interrupted my thought processes. Where is it coming from? There it is.
Reminds me a little bit of an old funny story that may or may not be true about. I lost audio on you guys, and can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I lost DH's audio.
Did you?
Oh, weird. Can you not hear him?
No.
Shit. I broke things, apparently.
Yeah, what'd you do to me?
Oh, here he is.
Okay, good.
What I was about to say was an old humorous story that went around. Don't know if it's true or not, but supposedly some travelers were watching an old New England farmer chopping wood with his axe, and one of them came up to him and said, that's really a wonderful vintage axe you have there. And he says, oh yes, this was originally George Washington's axe. Really? How is it that it looks in such good condition? And the farmer said, well, you have to remember, you have to maintain an axe to keep it working. This one has had 6 new handles and 2 new heads to keep it in shape.
Exactly the theory. Yes, that's a good one. It stands out so much more when it's something simple like that, doesn't it? But when you get a really complex system like a person or a building or a ship, it's a lot easier because you can imagine it being shifted over time. The same thing applies I forget what culture it is or where in the world. It's a story I read, and I've never been able to find out where it was. But I think it's in the Sahara, to be honest with you. I think that's where it is. That there are people, they'll name a sand dune, and the sand dunes slowly migrate from, I guess, west to east or east to west. I think it's west to east. They will migrate across the Sahara, take generations. And they name them, and they're like treated like living things. They slowly travel across. And why are they called the same sand dune when they start, they're made of completely different grains of sand than when they finish their journey? They're completely different sand. So that is another good example of things. You have to apply that idea to what you are as a being. You think you are the sand, but you're really the idea of a sand dune. You think you're a person, but you're really the idea of a person that is riding. You are a form that is. When I say attached, I don't mean attached like you're tied to it or glued to it. You're attached in the same way you might attach to anything. An attachment, psychological, spiritual attachment. You're attached to the matter that you think you are, because the matter that you think you are is it fits within the form that you've decided you are. So as your body grows old and dies, you think you grow old and you die, but you don't. The form of what you are doesn't. It changes, but it's the essence, the archetype of what you really are, the true essence, your true soul, if you will, is eternal, and it is ageless. It is a single idea. It's an unchanging and unmutable idea. It's eternal in that way. So yeah, it's a good. You got me on my favorite subject, of course, which is that existential, non-dualistic question of time, space, and the everything. But so when you take that idea and you now extrapolate it to the universe, it's the same thing again. We have an egregoric idea of everything, or a tulpa, someone's pointed out very accurately in another conversation, of what everything is. But that thing is just a story, and that story is only associated symbolically to the matter that it thinks it is. And it's not that they're not the same, it is just that there is a separation of concepts that one can apply, right? Like we might call a monkey's paw a hand because it looks like a hand, but then we might not. We might call a dog's front foot a foot, but it's the same thing that the hand would be. We have these words and these ideas, and they separate things. But fundamentally, it's like, is a hot dog a sandwich? Yes. Is cereal soup? Is pizza a pie? Is lasagna just a form of cake? Like what are we talking about? So you notice the Italian food tends to stick there a lot, doesn't it? Is a meatloaf a hamburger? I mean, it's just a mixed up hamburger. So yeah.
And originally hamburgers were not sandwiches. The way they used to be in Europe in the old days was something like what my parents would have termed a hamburger steak growing up, which was basically a ground beef patty that was fried and served with mashed potatoes and veggies on the side.
Oh, sure. That sounds like what I do now, because I'm on keto. I can't have buns anymore. So, I can still eat ass all day, but I can't have buns. So, I got him. Took me a little while, but I got him.
How dare you come into my territory with that? That fucking caught me off guard.
I will come wherever I like. Just have a towel ready. All right. Yeah, so no, because I'm on keto, like I have to have, when I have a hamburger now, it's basically just the meat, and I'll put it, like, I'll make a hamburger salad, and the first time I looked at it, I'm like, this is the saddest fucking thing I've ever eaten. Man, who would ever eat like a hamburger on lettuce with no bun? Well, let me put some ketchup and some cheese and shit on it, and mayonnaise and everything, and do it all stupid like I like it. And like within 3 bites, I'm like, I don't need bread ever again. Like, this is like the best way to have a hamburger. I'll never go back. Everybody's dying in the chat there.
Total fucking like rewinding, but something I was trying to say earlier and I was muted is 7 years. The person you are 7 years ago is literally not the same. Like on a
it's actually more like 15, but 7 is the low number. Yes, definitely 15 for sure.
Format matter.
Yeah, one could argue your Jupiter return is every time you're refreshed, for example. one could argue. Which makes perfect sense too. So another...
I don't want to think about Jupiter return. That's coming up pretty soon, and yeah.
We're going to have a beautiful conjunction in a few days, and that correlates a lot to stuff that I can't talk about, but Johan, you know what I'm talking about with certain rituals and stuff we've been doing. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Saturn and Jupiter, they've been in conjunction pretty much all this time, but they're coming into it like a 1 degree separation, and that's coming, I think, on the solstice or right around this. I forget. I'll have to look it up. I think it's on the day of the solstice, if I remember correctly. So this is going to be powerful.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I do plan on putting something out for the solstice. I have a ritual that I'll probably post the details for if you guys want to perform it for yourselves. And then after the solstice, if I get the energy, if I'm not depressed or upset or angry or happy and distracted by current events too much, I will certainly perform the ritual, but if I'm upset, I might not record it. If I record it, I'll post it afterwards or right around the solstice. I have a solstice rite that I do every year now, which is very simple, but essentially it requires that I time it so it's pretty exact to when the actual transition occurs from the one to the other, and I kind of ride that transition, visualizing and feeling almost like I'm lassoing the energy and attaching my solar plexus chakra to that, and to hopefully carry me, has given me like a little bit of a slingshot effect into the new year. So start that cycle of growth again. So it was very necessary last year. I was going into like that, I think I was tired from working so much, and I was just like, oh, I really needed it. It was very powerful. So yeah, David Morgan confirmed. He confirmed it, everybody. Yes, the solstice, DH, with a small margin for deviation if you're not following the tropical zodiac. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing about the whole political front is, I'm not going to try and predict the outcome right now. The magic has been worked, and I'm just letting it work. But if for some reason the president's litigation does not succeed, I can really see things not going as smoothly for Joe Biden as any of his people would like, because I have a long memory where politics is concerned.
Yeah, I know. You have a long memory for a lot of things, dude.
If Biden gets the presidency at this point, his situation is going to be strangely reminiscent in many ways of Richard Nixon's second term.
Yeah.
In other words, a massive scandal that has, totally undermined his legitimacy in the minds of a vast section of the public. Combined with a lot of opposition to him in both houses of Congress and at multiple levels of government, I could easily see old Sleepy Joe a few months into his term, if he gets one, asking himself, "Did I really want this? Why did I want this?" Just like Nixon, it's like, all of it, he wins the presidency, and then after that, nothing goes his way.
Yeah, well, remember, it's not him who wants it. He has literally got a gun to his head, I would say, in a manner of speaking, figuratively speaking. He's literally got a type of gun to his head. That's all I'll say about that.
And if his running mate thinks that she's going to run things, she's liable to find herself with more on her hands that she can handle too.
No, she knows she's just a conduit for the will of their benefactors. She knows that. She's we call her heels up Harris. We know what she's about. Yeah, no faith whatsoever. No, I really don't feel like I really don't feel like having people who serve a foreign country run me. I really don't like that. But some would make the same argument in inverse, right? That's the fun of this current paradigm, is that it's so charged with this bullshit that who is right ultimately we'll find out.
Ultimately it's the question of who's whose ideology does one find less uncongenial? And
Yeah. Yeah.
by and large, I would take I'll happily take MAGA over the Great Reset any day of the week.
That's how I feel. It's like I have plenty of problems with at least people in MAGA. Maybe not so much the leader of MAGA, but certainly certain groups in MAGA bother me.
Right. Yeah. And there are divergences.
Yeah. But my first choice wasn't him, and originally it's always been Ron Paul or Rand Paul. Preferably Ron Paul, but he's about to die anyway. He's not.
I'm becoming, as time goes on and I listen to more and more of him, I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Ron Paul.
Yeah, no, old school Ron Paul, especially in the 80s, 90s, was the bomb. That guy was, whether he knew it or not, a Luciferian as fuck.
Especially the stuff he's been saying these days about the Koof.
Yeah,
he is so spot on.
Yeah, he's scary, but he got a little, I don't know, he trying to stay relevant, he's been very contrarian, and I don't necessarily like that part. But it's still Ron Paul. He's like grandpa. You gotta love him anyway. So yeah. So someone had mentioned, I think it's the person who just invoked me now, DH, what's up, Broham? And this other fellow, hello, and the man in the audio, hello, my man. He actually, Hellspine, I think, just said something about like, where is it? He says,
hello,
I should probably learn some astrology. Why not utilize the map of the sky? And I was going to comment on that and say that, you don't have to become an astrologer to utilize astrological symbolism or correspondence, especially when doing magic. If you understand at least the simplistic side of astrology, where you understand what each planet's archetype means, what spirits emanate from those archetypes. So Mars, the bringer of war. So it's named after a god of war, but Mars isn't just Mars, the Roman or Greek god or whatever you're attaching to it. Mars also has all these other, same thing like Jupiter is Marduk. And so all of these planets have these ancient associations with different deities. I think the Norse were one of the only ones that didn't do that. But you can still, if you spend a little bit of time, you can still actually say which planet they probably originate, what they'd be related to, right? But without getting too far into it, you can figure out what they represent archetypally. What do they mean? Because almost every culture, at least the ones that cared about the planets and the stars and the stuff in the sky, generally saw them similarly. You might get some difference. I'll have to do some research between Asia and Europe. I think there was some differences, but at least throughout Europe and Mesopotamia and all that, there was a lot of overlap with the planets and what they represent. I think India as well. I'll have to research that again. Somebody might know better in the comments. Let me know if I'm right. So these planets all kind of have this conjunctive, this corollary to certain archetypes in human consciousness. Whether that's because they themselves represent that, or humans just attached it so strongly that that's where it is. Or my personal preference is to think of planets and all these other things as just parts of the fractal. And let's not forget, we all originated from the same system. The moon in particular was once supposedly part of the Earth. It's a body that we impacted with a body about the size of Mercury, I believe. I forget the name of it, but there was a really cool name that they gave it. And it impacted with the Earth, and that ejected the moon, creating that satellite. And so in a way, like, we're actually twin planets. We're the same planet, but we're just extensions of each other. So that's why we have such a strong connection to our moon, and more so than perhaps any other body, even the sun. Like the sun and the moon are the two most important bodies in our universe. Without either one of those, our whole world would destroy itself. It just wouldn't function. We could live in a way without all these others. It's in a way. I mean, they have subtle effects, but they're there. So, but these planets, they all have similar archetypal conscious meanings. The sun and the moon, again, the easiest, because the sun radiates, the moon absorbs and reflects. The masculine and the feminine, that's bam, bam. They appear to be the same size in the sky. When you put them side by side or in front of each other, the difference between them is so minimal that it's virtually indistinguishable. This is why eclipses work, because you get that little diamond ring effect, because there's only a few spots that kind of, the overlap isn't perfect. So you get like a diamond ring effect. It's pretty much exactly the same size. That's astronomically unlikely. Like, that's ridiculously unlikely. So when you put this together, you've got a great example of just synchronicities and weirdnesses that humanity picked up on for eons. Now, the whole thing with the constellations and stuff, that's a little bit more debatable, I think, because you have the sidereal and the tropical, and the tropical is based off of one kind of thinking, and the sidereal is on the literal thinking. Literally, it's in the constellation. The problem with it, though, is that the constellations aren't the same size. They don't occupy the same amount of the sky. And so it'd be kind of more difficult, I think. You certainly couldn't split it up by months the way we do, where everybody's got the same amount of time. It would literally be, I forget what the differences would be, but it would be literally, I'm going to get this wrong, this is just a hypothetical example. Like Mars would be like 4 months of the year, and so like all the Martian symbols, so Scorpio and Aries would be easily 4 months of the year or longer. Then you might have, whatever's associated with Mercury would be like maybe a month or something like that. And so it would be like all these weird, like the way the constellations work would be all screwed up. But there's answers for that. If you're into sidereal, I'm sure there's answers for that, how that's supposed to work. But it does kind of create a little bit of a controversy, right? Which one do you... Go ahead.
Oh, there's the whole question of the precession of the equinoxes, and then for that matter, there are those who, in India, there's a whole different school of astrology called Jyotish, and I know some people.
And that's a little bit like sidereal, right?
That system.
That's a little bit closer to sidereal.
I'm not sure of the details, but the people who I know who do Jyotish swear by it.
I'll have to look it up.
I guess you could say that here is some of my old school chaos magic roots coming out. But,
at least eclectic, anyway.
I first started studying this stuff back in the 80s when the original writers on the subject, like Ray Sherwin and Lionel Snell and Julian Wilde, were writing on the subject. And you
must just have like a Rolodex of like book names and authors, like either in your head or right next to it, because you always just come out with. I don't even remember like the name of my second grade school teacher. And
I have more of those books still in my apartment than one could guess, but some of them are probably worth something now. But ultimately, I guess you could say that consciousness creates meaning, and it creates various systems of meaning.
And by the way, just to cut you off, David Morgan confirmed that Jyotish is definitely sidereal. Yeah, he said that is sidereal. That is like, I guess it means that's the origin of it. So.
Thank you, David. But yeah, I guess consciousness creates meaning, and you have all sorts of systems of meaning that have been created. Astrology is one. Astrology, Kabbalah, and tarot, i.e., traditional Western esotericism is one. Theosophy is another, and within themselves, they are internally consistent, and you can work one or work with another, but all of them are capable of producing results.
Yep, and I think that's completely true. I think when it's really about alignment, really. If you align yourself with one thing or another, and I don't just mean belief. Like, if I meant belief, I would use the word belief. A lot of people say, what you believe comes true. No, that's not true at all. I don't quite think so. Not to say that belief is useless or pointless. I think belief turns into Mary Poppins, Pollyanna, Betty Bobby Boo, and it's not really what I mean. Alignment is much deeper than belief.
And the problem with that sort of belief is it often carries within it doubt that it is trying to overcome, and that's where you get into lust of result and other things that become problematic. Austin Spare had an interesting concept of belief. He felt that belief was a power in magic, but he didn't quite conceive of it in quite the same way. He used to like to do a meditational exercise called the Neither Neither that was designed to break down the content of his beliefs. But the idea behind it was that once you broke down all the content, you were left with the kind of the contentless energy of pure belief in itself, which could then be directed to magical ends. Which I've always thought kind of relates to Crowley's concept of Lashtal, which was getting discussed earlier. The idea that pure will, unassuaged of purpose, delivered from lust of result, is every way perfect. That there's a kind of belief that is not tied to anxiety over results. One way I think about it sometimes is a kind of a quiet confidence, but at the same time, it's not dwelling on the desired end. You can feel confident that it will manifest, but don't get to worrying about it, or don't get to trying to convince yourself, or don't
blind
dwell on
faith
it
either, or having blind faith. I think what happens is, like, confidence isn't born of faith, at least not normally. People don't have confidence when they have faith. When they have faith, they tend to be, at least if we're being honest, making up for a lack of confidence, because they don't believe in something in the provable way, so they don't have full confidence. But no, I think that's true, and a lot of that's very useful. And like I said with alignment, it's not really about belief, but it is like standing in the truth. It's like, it's a subtle, inexplicable difference between belief and gnosis. I can say I believe I'm wearing a glove, but to be truly aligned with the experience of wearing a glove is different. So I would say you need to, belief will only get you so far, if anywhere. Usually belief turns into delusion. It's alignment that is truth. And that is a subtle, difficult subject to explain to people. Yeah. But that goes back to
it's an area where words break down, really.
Yeah. A lot of it does. It's like Satori or any of those kind of experiences that are wordless.
Crowley had his way of trying to describe it. Spare had his way of trying to describe it. In a way, I think Eckhart Tolle put it very well when he said that don't pay attention to the concept of the words, because words are only pointers. And if you can't follow where the pointer is pointing, the words become meaningless.
We should have Morgan on sometime. Morgan and I are always like so well slinked, and he's good at this. He says, implicit in faith is the very essence of doubt. Yes, sir. And I'm not just because he's agreeing with me, but that's a great way to put it. It is the essence of doubt.
And therein lies the problem, because you're trying to convince yourself against the doubt, and so it sets up internal conflict.
So alignment has a lot to do with the planetary thing again. We talk about planetary alignments. Alignment, it's a great word. It's one of the keys of creation, is understanding alignment. And alignment is something that is cooperative. It is not forceful. You don't make it happen. You become part of it. Alignment always is there, but there is a kind of resonance that happens when you are consciously in alignment. When you're consciously in alignment and you're not resisting the alignment, things go off without a hitch. Even if it's something bad, it goes off without a hitch. It goes off. And when I say bad, you don't see it as bad when it happens, I guess is what I'm saying. You understand that it's part of the process. Alignment is, it's the key to doing magic ritual. It's like when Crowley said, and he's true, but half the book is, I think, just repeating yoga means unity, or yoga means union. He says it over and over and over again in that one. I never read the book, but I've heard the excerpt. And I'm like, well, yeah, duh. And that's where you come to the whole magic is union. Magic is alignment. It is an alignment of your delusion of disparate tripartite self, or other, however many more partites you want to go. So Maya is based upon this division of self from other. And that's the first division. Then you keep going and going. You end up with the trinity of self that I like to use so much. It is just a symbol, though. The objective is to unify what you are, what you think you are, and what you experience as one thing. You're trying to bring all of these disparate parts that are really one. So that's really a more of a form of focusing your attention and awareness, and then recognizing that everything that's happening is your doing, and then learning to harness that so that you experience it in a meaningful way. Now, we would say from the material side that we're manifesting our will to happen, but our will is always manifesting. That is all that manifests, is our will. So what does magic mean? It means to align with your will in such that you only think you're causing a change. Really, you're just coming to terms with what you really desire. That's the big mind fuck of magic. People say, well, I'm doing magic for this. Then you're doing it wrong. I will take that to my grave until I'm proven wrong. You don't do magic for results. Magic is done so that you align with the results that are already part of your plan for yourself, part of the experience that you intend. And it is not fate. It is still you that decides. It's just not the you that is the ego. Your ego has no free will. So magic functions as an alignment, and it's part of the fractal pattern. And depending upon which part of the fractal you're living in, you will see corollaries in other swirls around you. And the planetary motions, the planets themselves, I believe are maybe not the most reliable. They're certainly not scientifically reliable, but they are spiritually reliable in that they do seem to, and you and I both know of that one reading that they did for the election so far. It's been 100% accurate. I predict it's going to end up being exactly accurate at the rate we're going. It's uncanny. I want to reach out to that person, have them on the show. It's really uncanny. So it is a matter of recognizing the pattern in the fractal output and saying, that swirl over there means that over here there's a similar energy, but they don't cause each other. That's the biggest mistake, is people think, oh, well, when Mars is over here, it causes this. No, it doesn't cause anything. It is simply synchronistic to the thing that you're talking about. Now that means when you're doing magic and you try to apply, the planetary influences, you have to recognize it more like the words go. Are the stars aligned? If yes, proceed. Because you're not going to change the motion of the stars, nor are you going to change the motion of the world. But what you can do is you can change your intention so that you match with the flow. In this way, you actually take control over it because you're already in control over it. Your higher self is already in the master's position. You as an ego, though, are a fool, and you think that you're in control, but you as an ego are not. So it's a big, giant, non-dualistic mindfuck. And this is how you can have a culture like Hinduism that practices these non-dualistic ideas, and they still admit to strange powers and things that should not be necessary even. If you take it from secular perspective, that shouldn't even be part of it. But they have no problem believing it because it would fit within that view. So
Jung, I think, was pretty close to it with his idea of synchronicity, which he described as an acausal connecting principle. And if you look back at the Hermetic philosophy, the Hermetic philosophers didn't really talk about cause and effect that much, but what they did talk a lot about was correspondences.
Yeah, and honestly, these older things, you can trace them to more Greek and Indian philosophy, because that's really where a lot of this comes from. It was from the Greeks and the Hindus, and they were cross-pollinating a lot. People don't know that. They think that like if you look up original Plato, it's very synchronous with what you find in the Vedas. They're different, but they're different by language, not necessarily by higher meaning. The higher meaning is almost the same, especially when you get to Neoplatonism. Well, Neoplatonism and Hermetics and Gnosticism and all these things, they were very much coterminous in time, and they shared a lot, and one could even say that some of those are the offspring of Neoplatonism. So this idea of this relationship that they have in terms of what's the best word, what do you call it, is it alignment, is it this? Well, I like the word gnosis and alignment. Gnosis is a little different from alignment in that gnosis is the experience of alignment, and alignment is the action, it's the verb. So so it's good stuff. So any parting comments, Johan, before I move on? I think we're going to take one more person if we got anybody, and if not,
just about mentioning about the influence of India. Yes, it's no accident that in Hellenistic times, a lot of the well-known magi and spiritual teachers and wonder workers of that period, in the traditional biographies of them, were said to have at one point or another made a journey to India and studied there. Pythagoras was one example.
It's very clear because the word chakra is a loan word from Greece. It means the same thing between the two. It's just pronounced differently, just like it would be because we have an accent. It's a loan word. It's basically the same word. So look it up, guys. Don't believe me, look it up. I don't know why this isn't taught in schools strongly. I don't know why we don't make a bigger deal out of it. I don't know why they don't want a connection, but there's an obvious connection. It's just like going from ancient Sumeria to the Roman and Greek gods. They're actually mostly the same, just different. I mean, there's some differences. There's 4,000 years between them, but despite there being 4,000 years between them, they're synchronized in a lot of ways. You know, Jupiter and Marduk, you know, it's a perfect example. They're very alike. They even have some of the same legends. Even Thor and Marduk have some of the same legends. And why? Well, because they're archetypes and they're still attached to the planetary influence. It's amazing.
The current ruling powers don't want us to know about these connections, and that's why they have their academia constantly debunking them.
Someone says, "Is chakra not a cognate?" And I'm not a linguist, even though I pretend to be on TV. Yeah.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, in Sanskrit the term means wheel, and the chakras were regarded as energy centers that in fact did rotate.
Oh, so yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying is a cognate is a word. Yeah, cognate is, yeah, I guess it would be a cognate. Yeah, if I'm reading the definition of cognate right. So if you look up the Greek word for wheel and the word chakra, they're very I think it's like kakra and chakra. Like there's a slight difference, but it's so close. It's so close. So yeah, someone said you sound like Stan Lee.
Thank you.
I can see it a little bit. Could you say Excelsior? I'm just kidding.
Excelsior!
Oh shit, you could be a Marvel character. Holy shit, that's pretty good. Desmond, can you give him some echo and reverb, please?
Oh, if only.
Like, we've got our own little voice acting crew here. I mean, I'm mostly just not, but you know, we can have a little voice acting crew. You guys don't even give me a chance to do my voice acting, you putzes.
Oh, you get to do the dolphins.
I love the dolphins. They're my favorite animal in the whole world. I make fun of my Sid voices when I talk.
So, yeah. If I went back to smoking, I'd have that Peter Steele voice again. So, okay, Johan, I will talk to you this weekend as always. Hopefully, we have a good conversation coming up. Hopefully, we have some some celebrating to do on our conversation this weekend. So we'll find out.
Sounds good.
I think we're getting there, though. I mean, I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm going back to my 80-20 prophecy, my 80-20 prediction of success. So we shall see. We shall see.
Okay.
Feeling good right now. I'm sure when I wake up tomorrow, there'll be some bad news and I'll feel bad again. So we'll find out. It's been one hell of a roller coaster.
Gotta manifest that good news.
Let me hear Flesh Priest say, "I'm waiting for my good news."
Waiting for my what?
The good news.
I'm just waiting for the CBS to bring me some good news.
Oh God, you are such a perv.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Get over here. Yeah, say it.
Get that fat ass over here.
Little fat arm, muscly little fucker.
But
pervert to pervert.
It's always such a fucking joy to have you on, Johan, especially because I feel smarter by listening to you. Just like,
thank you so much.
These are the people I should know about. Yes, I'm around somebody very educated.
We're gonna create a new. I feel like we're like Louder with Crowder, and I'm like Crowder, and like you guys are all here, and I'm gonna make a new. This is gonna be a new fucking word I want to make up. Johan, when you're on, it's we're gonna call it is Johan Gnosis or Johan Gnosis or something. Yeah, Johan Gnosis. Or Yosmosis, Johansmosis, something like that. Because by osmosis we learn through you when you're around. You just.
Oh, I thank you.
Johan enters the chat and suddenly I don't have to know. Like I'll do it all the time. So blah 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 blah. Johan, what's the name of that? And I'll just wait. Like you're the other side of my brain. You just come in. Like, yeah, that was the 4th edition. All right, Johan. I will talk to you this weekend, man. Thanks for calling.
Alrighty, it sounds good. Thanks so much.
All right.
Yeah, fucking good hearing from you, man.
My pleasure. Have a good one.
Cool.
You too, dude.
All right, what do we got left? We got anybody else?
So,
or can I go to bed?
That whole reason why I disconnected is because I was touching heads with Ace the Goblin to make sure that his audio is working. You know what? I'm just gonna drag him in here real quick.
We're doing a Discord style?
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna bring him in right now. Don't even have to move anywhere. So here we go. Ace, we should be able to hear you now. Oh, whoops. What the
You
fuck
ruined
happened?
it.
I
You
clicked the
fucked it up.
button.
You said it was all worked out, and now it's broke.
There we go. Ace, we should be able to hear you now for realsies. Oh, what the fuck? No, okay, I did it that time. He's moving himself back.
Damn it, Flesh, you're fired.
I'm doing it.
You have failed me for the first time for the last time.
I'm gonna message him. It was the... Hold on.
If I could just give a shout out to Chad Vader while we're waiting for this to work. I feel like he's my spirit animal right now. If you don't know what Chad Vader is, look it up. It should still be on YouTube. It's basically Darth Vader as an overnight grocery store clerk. Or manager. Good shit.
But yeah, Ace was actually telling me while I was in the DMs with him.
Yo, can you hear me?
Oh, now
Yeah,
we
we
can
can
hear
hear you now. I was just telling everybody, we found out, you and me in the DMs, we found out why that whole issue was happening is because apparently the push-to-talk thing, whenever he turned his phone, the home screen button would get in the way of the push-to-talk. So he kept going with the story.
Oh.
He didn't realize we couldn't hear him.
Oh, that's so... That is so no.
Fucking rest in peace, dude.
Oh, that is so something that would happen to us. Oh, it just is.
But I'm fucking glad to have you back because I really do want to hear the rest of this. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the point that we left off on is you were telling us that you had like a kitchen table in front of you or something to that effect where food was served and everything, and you were about to describe what reptilians looked like.
Yeah, well, let me try to continue. Hopefully it doesn't cut off again.
we'll fucking scream if something happens, or I'll shoot you a message in the DM.
Okay, cool.
You still there?
Oh, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
It was like this kitchen counter.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we
Yep,
can.
you're good.
Okay, wait 1 second. I gotta take it off a push to talk because I think that's what's really messing it up.
Okay. We'll just try to be quiet while you're talking then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, looks
Okay.
like we're not the only ones. Some people in chat are saying they're locked in.
All right, we're
Can
ready.
you hear me?
We are ready.
You're good.
Okay, cool. That's better. Okay, so basically there was this kitchen counter where food would be served. Like I said, I know many people may know how this looked. You know, like a long counter type thing. And so I'm moving towards the ending of this counter. And so I'm going to describe on how the reptilian looked. The reptile, it was my height, skinny, humanoid type body. You know, there could be many types of reptilian types, green, brown, white, black, all that, with wings and all that. But this one didn't have wings per se.
Okay.
And I would say that the head of it looked like a gecko. And the eyes were big and red, like a fly's eyes.
Oh,
Bug,
okay. Yeah.
flies, big old red eyes. And so imagine the Matrix, the movie. Whenever, the Smith, whenever they would, take over anyone and the liquid would come over their body, it looked like that. That's how the whole body of this reptilian looked. It was very liquidy and just moving liquid. But it was green and I could see its actual features and everything. And it looked like it was, what I got from it was that it was trying to shapeshift. but it couldn't. And so whenever it noticed me coming towards it, it started hissing at me. And remember, this is an astral projection, just giving a reminder to everyone.
Sure, yep.
So I'm floating towards it, and it's like hissing at me because it's trying to shapeshift and not show me that it's a reptilian. But I could see it, and it's hissing like a snake and snarling at me and things like that. And next thing you know,
okay, go ahead.
It vanished. It disappeared. The reptile, it totally disappeared. And remember, this reptilian was my height. It was very skinny, long arms, tall legs, humanoid, gecko head. You know how a gecko's mouth is. It was like that, same type of nose, no ears, and just those big old red eyes that I could see. And it was like it was standing there like almost like glitching. That's another word I could use. It was like kind of glitching out almost, trying to shapeshift, but it couldn't. And so it disappeared from me because it didn't want me to see. It didn't want me to see that, but it knows that I saw that. And I know what I saw.
So there's on my now you can't see it probably because you're on your phone, but on the main screen I looked up something. Now I'm a kid of the 80s, so I remember some shit most people don't. There was a TV show called Land of the Lost. They made a remake movie with Will Ferrell recently, and like 7 years ago or something. There's these reptile dudes called the Sleestack. And if you look them up, they're like all like kind of lame looking. But it reminded me immediately of one of the Sleestack from that show. Because there's one that's got red eyes and like weird colored skin. So I don't know if you can see it, but if you get a chance, you can look at it. I'll leave it up for a minute.
Yeah, I'll look at it after this live stream. But I even when I was on the call a couple minutes ago, I said that there is images on the web that I found at this reptilian, and one day I seen this image and I was like, bam, I was like, that's the one I saw, that's it. And you could find it. I don't know. I just put one in the writings of the voice too. So when people go on Discord, it's a little easier to find too. So. Cool.
You're fucking braver than I am because I would have fucking taken off. I wouldn't have gotten any closer.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was like, whenever it started hissing at me at first, I backed up a little bit, just a little bit, because I didn't want it to charge or anything. So I backed up a little bit, but I started to move towards it slowly, and it kept hissing at me, and it kept doing it. And also, what I forgot to mention was, whenever I first came upon it, it was like it tried to hide behind the kitchen counter, like it was crouching, like a game crouch, sort of like.
It's interesting because I'm gonna turn your volume down so it doesn't echo so much. It reminds me of David Icke, and everything, obviously, because whenever we talk about the reptiles, I don't know if he originated it, but he certainly was one of the people who kind of originated it. Originally he was saying like, crazy shit like they're physically they literally transform into us, or it's a hologram or some shit. Then over the years, he's gotten more tame with it, describing it more as, well, there's like reptilian people, but it's more of a spiritual reptilianism, or it's an energetic spirit, like they're lower vibrational beings, blah, 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 blah. Now, doing what we do, like I run into weird archetypal beings all the time. I've never run into a reptile, but then again, I don't look for them. Same thing with like aliens and stuff. I've had alien experiences growing up, but I kind of poo-poo them now because I'm kind of in a skeptic phase with that, for reasons which I'll get into when we actually do our alien videos. But the interesting thing is, it's not that I'm opposed to the idea. If it happens, I'll believe it right away. But yeah, so it's interesting. It's another archetype that entered human consciousness, and I do wonder when, where, and how it did. We don't have any evidence throughout history of, at least not the way they're described today, of reptile people, right? We don't have that idea that there's people wearing, the reptiles underneath their skin. We did have in antiquity plenty of chimera and people that were half this and half that, and definitely people that have reptilian features. And you have, especially in the Sumerian tradition, like they're all like watery, like you have a lot of like fish people and stuff. So there's plenty of, at least, it's not beyond the human comprehension, and yet it's only been in the last 50 years, kind of like the shadow people. The shadow people are a recent egregore in the sense that what they are as an essence has been there forever. But what'd you say? What'd I miss?
I think you have his volume turned down for the stream right now.
Yeah, I'll turn it back up.
He was trying to talk about something I don't think you could hear.
Okay, I'll have him back up now. Go ahead. Sorry, Ace. I was pontificating.
Oh, it's no problem. It's no problem. I was saying was that, yeah, with the water beings, like, I've actually learned about the amphibian, race of aliens as well, which, dwell in, swampy regions and things like that, on our planet and things like that. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, there's actually this thing. Hold on, let me turn you down again. Okay. There's actually this idea called the aquatic ape theory, which, if you look it up, it's an alternative origin for mankind, that instead of being primates that necessarily came out of the trees and then went onto the savannas of Africa, we were actually primates that came down out of the trees and went into swamps or bodies of water, and spent at least a significant portion of our time in water as an amphibious type of ape that was, like a swamp ape, I guess is what you'd call it. And it's interesting because it actually answers a lot of questions that the other ones don't. And it actually fits better with a lot of the, the mythology from the older cultures, this connection to the water that we have in a lot of these other cultures. So it's interesting. Everyone should look it up. It's called the aquatic. It's been debunked. Everyone. It doesn't exist. It's not real. It's debunked. But look it up. It's actually really interesting, and wrap your head around it. It's not that far-fetched. I do wonder, did they take a shit on it because it's so true and they don't want us to know? Maybe.
No, I definitely feel you, and it's not far-fetched for me. Because I've researched a fuck ton of alien beings, many races. Like I know a fuck ton of races, more than the average person who does this.
I believe it, and I gotta remember to mute you a little bit. We gotta fix that for future.
Yeah, fucking Ace, like, because we're still getting the echo on this end, which is why he's turning you down for the stream. Every time that he's talking, I gotta touch base with you on a weekend or something and figure out the audio. Like, as a man who does music,
or just maybe install Skype
good
somehow
audio
or something. Because Skype won't have this problem. I don't think it could, but I don't think it will. Oop, hold on.
I'm on a phone and you two are on PC. That's most likely why we're having so much difficulties.
I believe it's very likely.
Probably doesn't help.
Yeah. All right, Ace. It's not that I don't want to hear more. I gotta mute you again. It's just the echo's getting me. Ace, I want you to call back when we get the sound issue, because you sound like a very interesting guest. I want to feature you sometime. We'll have you on for a whole episode, and I think that'll be fun. What do you say?
I definitely would love to be on, man. I've been watching you for quite a while and become a living God for a long time now, man.
And I want to specify, because I had to recently, I'm not part of Become a Living God. I'm just good friends with EA. He's one of my good friends like Flesh is. So that came up recently.
I have you on Facebook, and I seen you said that, and I know.
Oh, who are you on Facebook? If you don't mind telling me.
Vashnishan Ace on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, give me. I'll have to look this up.
And to entice everybody else, you did let me know in the DMs, Ace, that you also had another story about Beelzebub. So I definitely want to hear that when we get you on.
Hold on, let me turn them up. Whatever. We should do like over, so I know how to turn. I know to turn them up. Okay. Over.
So you want me to tell you this story now?
I think we should save it as like an enticing thing, especially if BH is saying he wants you for an entire episode. Let's open with that. Give him a little bit to Entice them.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And this story, it's pretty crazy. And it was a dream, I should say. But you know, just how you guys were talking earlier, dreams are very subliminal and significant.
Oh,
And it was blatant. It wasn't even like subliminal. Like, it was Beelzebub. Like, when I tell you this story, you're gonna be shocked.
I'm looking forward to it, dude. I am.
Yeah,
And it's crazy because, you know, like I said, I practice the dark arts. I'm a satanic Luciferian. I work with all of the deific masked, all of the devils of many different mythologies and cultures. But I have not sat down and done a ritual with Beelzebub. And he just decided to come to me. And
we had an experience like that with Belphegor, actually.
You know how he's the Lord of the Flies? Or, in other words, you know, in some places you'll see he's the Lord of the Flyers. He came to me with other beings who were flying. And that's all I'm gonna say. I can't give it away.
All right, we'll definitely check that out then. So, all right, Ace, I'm going to say goodbye to you right now just because the echoes. Very interesting. Love you, brother. Let's get you back on and, you know, connect with Fleshy and don't let him preach to you too much.
Bucket to you too, man. I could loved hearing from you.
Heck yeah, man. I love connecting with y'all, bro. Real talk, man.
All right, man.
Hell yeah.
All right, kick him out.
Shit. All right, have a good night, Ace.
Good night, Ace. All right, there we go. I don't need to mess with his volume anymore. That was making my finger hurt.
Yeah, fucking, like, Ace, if you're watching this later, fucking love you. Oh my god.
Oh, I was going to ask him about King Paimon. I was going to say, how much of your work is inspired? Do you work with King Paimon because he does music? We'll get that answer from him next time.
Yeah, we'll have time to talk. I definitely want to hear more from him. That was cool.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
The echo was awful. The echo was killing me. I'm going to have to touch base with him and, like, hey, let's get this sorted.
I'm always a fan of musicians and artists and things like that. I like people who, it's part of magic, right? Creativity is a big piece of magic, and everybody's got within them the spark of creativity. You just got to figure out which medium is yours. Some people, it's something that maybe isn't that impressive to other people. Like, the thing about art is it's not about who you impress, it's about what you communicate. And if you're communicating, even if just to yourself, it's still valuable. But yeah, but he's definitely got that quality. So
yeah,
we'll bring him back.
I really think that's why, you know, I took a fast liking to people like El the Alchemist or Jennifer Batza. Yeah. I don't think either of them are still in the chat, but just because they put so much love into their craft. Oh, hey, Ace just hit us up in chat, said, yes, I do work with King Paimon.
All right, excellent. You could hear it like in the music. It's got that. It's just good. It's like it's inspired. It's inspired from something. You know, I mean, you know, I think with time, with practice and some variation, I want to listen to some more of his music and see what I like about it. I'd like to challenge him to do something slow and moody too, because I think he's got a good voice, and I think if he, like, you know, he's good with the speed, and that's, you know, you don't want to just be the one trick. You want to get a couple of things going, get some slow, moody stuff in there, just to switch it up. I want to hear both, right? I want to hear both in a good mix. So I'm gonna listen to more of his stuff when I get the time. I'm gonna vibe to it, see if it moves me like Afro. He's, you know, I like that stuff. It's different. It's not like the mainstream. I hate mainstream rap. I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like mainstream hip hop and rap. I just don't. It's like mainstream metal in the early millennium sucked, and then like completely like, oh, now it's good again.
And I'll say too, because I caught him in here in one of the previous live streams, and he said he make music, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna check this out on the side. And fucking first song I listened to, it was Garden of the Flesh and Bone, which is the one I linked. I was like, okay, yeah, immediately just added it to my fucking work playlist. I'm like, I could vibe with this. Yeah, good chorus, fucking fast rapping. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, like especially if I'm writing a certain way, or like we got this this ramen hut. Not a ramen hut. It's like a ramen place in town, and I hope it's still there after all this bullshit. The guy, he's an American guy. I think I don't know where he's from. I think he's from like Brooklyn or something originally, or maybe it's from part of where I am in Long Island. Anyway, but he's like this black dude who opens up this ramen shop, And it's like the most perfect fucking mixes of culture that I've ever fucking had, because the whole place is filled with anime style graffiti with underground and all different kinds of, like, you know, that kind of rap music and stuff that you don't hear everywhere, and really decent ramen mix. I mean, just some good shit. Not my favorite ramen in the area. It's a little too salty, but it's really good. And like I could hear his music playing in this place. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's cool because they got like an old arcade setup. It's cool, man. It's a cool place. You'd like it, actually. That's like a place I want to take you to if you ever get out here. So
fuck. Like I'm planning on it as soon as I can.
Yeah. Once the Kofifi is done ruining everything for everybody, you know, we all got to take a vacation somewhere. I think, like, I'm gonna be hanging out with EA sometime this winter. Maybe you should come too. We'll all hang out the same week. Or you can follow us back to Long Island because I want to show you my area. Don't take that sexually, by the way.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's what I'm waiting on. Is just for lack of better terms, some sense of stability, because it sucked for the longest. Like, we've known each other for years, and it's like always talked about fucking hanging out with each other in person for the first time, and it's just like.
Well, you said you smell now. You got me nervous. I'm like, do I need like a clothespin on my nose? Because that's like an anti-fetish for me. It's like, it smells?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna be straight up. This is gonna be TMI for everybody in the chat. My BO is so fucking rank and awful. Like, I literally cannot wash it off my body. I take a shower and just like scrub with a pumice stone and soap and everything. It does not. I have to shave my armpits as a necessity because it clings on to the hair. Like it's not even like don't get me wrong, I don't like body hair. It's not even a.
Do you
gay
use like
thing.
Axe body spray and shit?
Yeah.
Do you like use like Axe?
No, fuck that. I have to use fucking industrial strength. I'm over here fucking rubbing on whatever I can find.
I mean,
from
that could be why. I was gonna say, like, you might actually be using. See, like, I use like what's it called, Castile soap and shit like that, because it's so basic, and it causes less odor because it doesn't have things that feeds the bacteria. Like a lot of the soaps, like people may not know this because I have such beautiful, lush hair, but I don't use shampoo at all. Like, I don't touch that shit. I literally just use hot water.
That's been discussed in a previous live stream, and I remember everybody going like, okay, so DH, we can get with you on the magic and everything, but dude, you gotta use some like mane and tail or something. We can't have that, bro.
No, you would never know. It doesn't smell at all. It's clean as hell because your body knows how to clean itself. The shampoo is actually a fucking ripoff. It just takes about, I don't know, a month for your body chemistry to relax back to what it's supposed to be, because the soap ruins the oils in your body. So
I will say I know where you're coming from, because I did go super duper hippie for like the better part of a year, and it definitely, like, I don't know, I still use shampoo. I just don't think you need to use shampoo every day.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think I've used in the last 3 years. I think I used it once. So
I know this is exactly the type of magical conversations my fucking BO and our shampoo talk. Everybody's tuning
let
in
me entertain you with. Don't forget, many magical systems require bathing during, before, or whatever ritual, and there's often a prescription of what to use, and it's never fucking Axe body soap. It's never Pantene. It's usually crystal clear water with minerals and stuff in it. So,
excuse me, are you telling me that the boys' locker rooms in middle school fucking making a toxic fucking war crime cloud of Axe body spray with their fucking like pentagrams and shit, they're not doing magic when they use that?
That is indeed one of the most worstest soaps and deodorant, because they literally, if I could like take this fucking staff and tie up one of the chemists that invent that shit to a chair for about an hour, I would get him to admit that they put shit in there intentionally that feeds the bacteria to make you smell. More so than any other brand, because I've tried it. I'm like, let me try this shit.
It's pretty bad.
And it smells bad initially, but then it wears off, and you stink 10 times faster. Like, it just, the what smelled just annoying before turns into assholes, armpits, and everything else real fast. It's nasty.
I do want to make a quick fucking little bit synchronistic. I've been exploring some new magical podcasts and everything to listen to during work,
And just today, actually, no joke, I was listening to somebody talk about glamour magic, which actually you had brought up earlier in the stream. And the thing about bathing with the different perfumes and everything was actually something they brought up, is even the act of bathing can be, in the glamour sense, can be linked to magic as well, especially in the olden times. Bathing was not something that was very easy to do. You were bathing yourself because it was a very important thing. It took hours to do, to get water ready, to do all of that.
Yep.
You were doing it to present yourself a certain way. So even if you don't look at it that way, it's a fucking ritual of banishment. You're fucking banishing all the fucking bad rituals, just the same as cleaning.
Yeah. I think it's true. I mean, someone asked me, Bladed Cloak says, DH, what spray do you recommend? I am like borderline hippie. I don't use anything. I use Castile soap on the Unholy Trinity, and that's it. And I don't even have to. If I wash good and if you let it go, even that'll go back to where you don't need it. Just water, hot water, so long as it's not too too hard or something, takes care of it. If you wanna throw a little bit of potash in there or something, that's all you need. You don't need anything else.
Well, I tell you what, when I come to visit you, I will take that advice and I will use nothing but hot water.
And you'll be staying in a hotel.
On these fucking rank ass pits of Dagobah I got under my goddamn arms.
I guess everybody's got their chemistry right. Well, there is a theory that says that the reason why, especially the males of the species, are so funk is because it's meant to be a territorial device that scares off other males. So you are just supposed to be an alpha stink machine, is what you are. You're a stink ape, and no other male is supposed to go in your territory because they're supposed to go, what's that smell? Oh, and you probably get women going, it smells like cheeseburgers. I like it. So
yeah, I'm very lucky in that my boyfriend does not enjoy the scent, but it does not bother him.
Well, it'll probably bother me, so we'll have to figure something out. You'll have to get. That's why I said you'll probably get the shack in the back, and we'll visit on in open territory.
Make sure all the windows are open during the fucking breezy season.
I don't know. I had this friend, and I'm not going to name him because he might be showing up on here one of these days. But dude, this boy be stinking. Like, it was like your eyes would water, your nose would crinkle up, and it was like, it's not the smell, it's the watering in my eyes that's the problem. It's this. I don't smell anything, and my nose is burned out. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've told you that I have a lot of French ancestry, right?
That would do it. You fucking smelly Frenchman. That would do it. Meanwhile, I'm like all German and shit. I'm like fucking German and Scottish and Irish. I'm French too, though. I got some Belgian. I've always been proud of the fact that I'm not a stinker. I really am not. Like, never have been. Like, it's like I have to like really fail in my hygiene to smell. Like, I've tested it. The worst I'll get is like if you ever like wash your clothes and don't dry them right away. Like, to me, that's like man.
Oh, no, that's the fucking worst to me every time. Yeah, let's not even get into the fucking mildew smell. Let's
not add to the stench that you're already putting in my brain. So, anyway, dude, let's wrap it up. I gotta go. Yeah. My wife just went to bed, and I gotta try to have a more, because if I'm up till 4 a.m, I'm gonna ruin my day tomorrow. So,
yeah, same.
For those of you who are following along, who are still here, who haven't checked it out already, in the pinned comment in the chat, you'll see at the very top is like a blue bar. It says to support me. If you click there, I'm now using the Linktree system because I've got too many goddamn links.
Yeah, you did.
And so I'm putting that now in the description of this video. I haven't put it there yet, but it will be in all my future videos. That's what I'm going to be using. So if you go to all my videos from now on, it'll just be Linktree. And I implore you, if you want to support my show, especially if you weren't willing or able or interested in doing a super chat tonight, the best ways to help me from least to greatest would be like, share, subscribe, and especially comment on this video. And when you share politely. Make sure you share it. Don't share it. If you're going to share it to a Christian group, don't be like, kill them, guys, get them. Please don't troll me with that shit. The other ways you can help me out are in that link. And I have my books are there. Become the Maelstrom is my first book. It's my most powerful book, really. Although some would argue Shagonomicon is more powerful and important. And then there's the Infernal Vampire's Handbook. And I will be coming out with at least 1 or 2 more this coming year as well as I'm always working on fiction, that at some point I'll finish one of the fictions and I'll write that. But I have fiction in mind as well.
And
so
I'm gonna cut you off really quick. While he's
No.
talking, everybody just fucking sound off, even if it's just say hi in the chat really quick. I'm gonna get to you in a second.
So all the links are in there. I have Patreon and I have Subscribestar, which still nobody's on my Subscribestar. So I don't know, maybe people don't like Subscribestar. Those are the best ways. Then there's Teespring. If you want a tapestry like the one I have behind me, my Teespring is linked there with, hopefully, there's a code that goes to it. It's all capitals, Krampus 666. If you go to my Teespring, you get t-shirts, you can get tapestries, posters, some mugs, some stuff like that. All kinds of stuff on there. And then last but not least, my Etsy store is mostly empty right now. I think I have 3 or 4 books left for the holidays. I will try to get more in if people buy them. So if they go, I will order more, at least one more batch for this year, and then we'll see about next year redoing it. I don't want to release like thousands of them for signed. I'd like the signed copies to be somewhat special, but I'll probably be doing them for a long time, but I'll probably limit them to like 10 a month or something like that at most.
You didn't, as far as I'm aware, you didn't announce this anywhere, but I saw somebody in the server who got the book, the signed copy, who actually said you included a little secret unannounced thing in that, and I thought that was really cool of you.
What thing did I include? Because if it's Nina, she earned extra. So
it wasn't. If it was Nina, it would stand out to me. It was somebody else. Some original artwork, I believe.
Yeah, I try to put. There's no guarantee, but in pretty much, I think all but one. I think one I missed. I put both. If you're buying a book anyway, I don't do it with the mirrors because that's more my wife's thing. If you're buying my books signed, I feel like you're spending a decent amount of money for my signature. I make it as custom as you want it. Sentence or two, whatever you want. And I also usually include a sigil that I make. So, usually it will depend on the book. If it's Become the Maelstrom, it's almost always going to be a sigil of Lucifer. If it's Shadownomicon, it's usually something like that. But I make one of these black sigils that I like to use personally. So this would be like Yog Sothoth if I did that. So I make them and I put them on the black paper that I use, or sort of like the sigil that I keep showing off that you love. And I include one of those, and you can use them in ritual. You can blood them and then burn them. And they're painstakingly handmade, so they take good 5, 10, 20 minutes to make. It's not much, but it's just an added little thank you. Sometimes I'll put incense. I always add a little something in there. I always add a little something. So yeah.
And hey, for everybody here, trust me, I know when I'm listening to live streams, don't even get me fucking started on the Joe Rogan Experience. I can glaze over during some of the fucking promotions and everything. The way I see it is that we're giving you 3-4 hours of content, sometimes 5 or 6 if we're going crazy.
Yeah.
So, I definitely get how sometimes people can glaze over during all this. And for those of you who are sticking around, fucking thank you.
Yeah,
and
you got no reason to stick around while we're advertising our ass off. So
yeah, so we fucking appreciate you guys so much, and we love you, which is why I'm trying to make sure I do good and shout out all of you who stick around to the end here too. So I'm gonna read off some of the participants that we got in here. Fucking Ace the Goblin, thank you so much. It was so cool talking to you, dude. Everybody go check him out on YouTube. And also Patchwork and Johann Josef von Engelstadt, who were our callers today, were fucking awesome.
Thank you, Ace. Thank you for that. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. And fucking thank you, Sin, Blade and Cloak, Dice Controller 187, Emerald Thunder, Jafar 524, Matthew's Test, the great and mighty Nina the Mystic. Please check her out as well. She does some awesome fucking shit as well.
She's got her hump day videos and stuff. Yeah, she's a good kid. She's very helpful and selfless. She goes around and she's helping all these other channels and stuff. And she's a good lady. Oh, thank you, Matthew.
Fuck, I just noticed the super chats. Fucking thank both of you guys.
Yeah, they're giving us the last minute thank yous. Thank you guys.
Yeah, we fucking appreciate you.
Yeah, we do. We have fun doing this. I don't sit there and go, how much money are we gonna make tonight? It's a great blessing and it's wonderful and it's appreciated. But we would probably be doing this even if we got negative dollars. It's fun. Oh, one thing I got to plug before you finish your listing. Guys, this is very important for those of you who've been following, you know why. You need to follow me on Odyssey because that's going to be mirroring all of this stuff. And I will probably be doing political aimed stuff, but I will be doing videos that I can't do on YouTube or I'm worried about. I want to build up a following on Odyssey. BitChute's great, but it's very buggy. I'm still having problems getting uploads to work, but Odyssey seems to work better for me. So I'm on Odyssey now. It's ODYSEE, and then you put @ and then DH Thorne. It's in the Linktree link, but it's really important to me that you guys follow me there, because once I get to like maybe around 100 or so, I'll start doing more dedicated stuff for that channel. Right now it's like 10 or 12, so it's not really. I'm gonna wait till it builds up a little bit. And all my videos are there, and I think it's a prettier website, to be honest. So, yeah. So sub me there unless you're like totally anti using other platforms, please sub me there.
Fucking goddamn Bonnie Woodruff. Didn't even say anything, just with the super chat. So I'm gonna finish the shout outs really quick too. So Bonnie Woodruff, you get big shout out too. Fucking thank you. Emerald Thunder, the Angry Finger, David Morgan. Oh, I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody who was writing. Seraphim and the Angry Finger. Thank you guys so fucking much. And I'm gonna mirror what DH said. If we made no money on this whatsoever, like the super chats are a bonus. And I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes we sit here like, yeah, that was fucking awesome. Like super chats were rolling in today and everything. Like that's fucking cool. But even the days when there's nothing, it's like that was such a fucking cool stream.
And times are tough right now. I mean, everybody knows. I mean, if you're following me, you're probably not like an obnoxious leftist. You might be on the left, but you're not obnoxious about it. You're open-minded. You're tolerant. You're this and that. You're not Orange Man bad. Thorne's a Nazi. You're not one of those types, right? You know how shitty it is right now. Everybody's suffering. People are losing their jobs. We understand. I'm losing money, actually. My books aren't selling as well this month. I don't know what's going on. I actually resorted to buying a little advertising. I'm not saying that to like give me money. It's like, I understand is what I'm saying. I completely understand.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting anything. Just that you support me as a friend and as a fan or whatever. Just keep sending me that energy and keep being here. Keep inspiring me to make fun content, to have good conversations where we talk about our penises 1 minute and then talk about non-duality the next. It really is. It's wonderful. It's comforting. It's like you guys are my extended family. I know why JD gets on and does live streams when he's needs to talk to people. You guys, it's great to have you guys. I know it doesn't seem like it because we put on a show and we do it like a professional show. But no, I scan the chat while I'm talking as much as I can, and I see the conversations whenever I can. And that's why you'll always notice when someone's being a dick, I almost always catch it. I am scanning you guys, and I appreciate so much. You guys have always been really, really great. And what I'd like to see, and I need your guys' help for this, and EA needs your help for this, and all of us need your help, but especially the people you respect. We need to get the word out. We need to expand this, not in a proselytizing way. We need to we need people to realize that what we're doing is not some edgy, although we are pretty edgy. It's not some edgy bullshit. There's a deep side to this that is powerful and sinister and important. And it fits and is necessary. The world is doing without it. Like if I could get them in the right room, the right group, I could go back to my old Buddhist groups and bring a lot of them in here, and they'd probably find it just as useful and interesting. So all I'm saying is we need to expand a little bit. And I don't mean that just so I get a following. I want to see new faces, because I see when I go to EA's channel, half of you guys are there. I want to see fresh blood. I want to see new people that are excited about this. So
what was that meme? It was like, what's something that you can explain in detail to everybody and they'll agree with you until you say its name? Oh,
correct.
Luciferianism.
Yes, exactly.
Satanism.
Exactly. Guys, look up the original origin of the fucking Statue of Liberty and then tell me what you think. So you'll understand. Like, Luciferianism is not a new idea. It's been around for a long time, and it's been called by many names. And it is only now that it can be said openly. And to be honest, the name is unimportant. You can call it anything you want, liberation if you want, because we're rapidly approaching a time when, because of what's going on, people are returning to their roots of spirituality and religion, and that's making them a little judgy. Christians are certainly pointing a lot of fingers at Satan and Lucifer right now. And I got to tell you, they're not on the side of the people trying to hurt you. At least not this time. So, anyway, Eddie says a great, vast, cosmic wang, if you will, in reference to our wang. Very, very good comment.
I'm gonna say last minute shout out to Bonnie Woodruff's. I think I talked about this on stream before. I certainly talked about it in private with you, DH. Bonnie was saying that she needs to get on sometime and share the story that ended up with her on a paranormal caught on camera.
Oh, cool.
Show.
Yeah, I've seen Bonnie around Facebook. I think I recognize it. Yeah, we'll get her on sometime.
Because we were talking about that, and some of the stuff she showed me was pretty cool.
I wish like I could get somebody who could just be a producer and just set up people for me to talk to.
Well,
I'm lazy like that.
I'm
I guess
priest. Have you?
I guess you are good with that. Yeah, you are. So yeah, reach out to my PR guy, and he goes as Glitch on Instagram. Pretty cool, actually. You should do that sometime. I don't know if that's a filter or you just Photoshop it in, but you should.
Oh no, that's all manual, baby.
There's a joke in there. I'm just trying to figure out how it's going to land. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. This is us over and out. Anything last you want to say? You want to take us out here, Fleshy?
Oh no, but I know something that I'm going to say. Mind the goddamn shadows. But before you click the button, I know there's something that you want to tell them. Something about tell your friends. Fuck it, I'll say it. Tell your friends, warn your goddamn enemies.
Oh, fuck, I forgot the greatest line I've ever come up with. That's right, guys. Tell your friends and warn your enemies. All right, guys. I will talk to you next week.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I want to, don't go. Wait, one more second. I'm done. Wait. Holiday schedule. We are going to be streaming, at least I will be. Most likely, I'll have to get back to you guys about Christmas Eve, because very often I celebrate that with my mom.
Shit, that's on a... Yeah,
that's
fuck
on a
it.
Thursday.
I'm down for that if you're doing it.
So we'll definitely be here next week. I don't know about Christmas Eve. I might not be here. I will let you guys know. It might be a last minute decision. However, the 31st, I will definitely be here. So that's the day before New Year's. So it's pretty much New Year's Eve. So if you guys want to rock in New Year's Eve with me, we'll probably be here. My wife will probably, I don't know. Well, I'll see what I can do, but just pencil it in. We'll probably be here for New Year's Eve. And if we don't do Christmas Eve, I might do it a different night, like Wednesday. I don't know if you're up for that, Flesh, but just so you guys know.
Work it.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. It's gonna work out. We're gonna keep doing our streams every week. So for sure, next week, 17th, same time, and that's it. Tell your friends and warn your enemies.
Mind the fucking shadows.
Mind the shadows.
Nail.